This episode of TFS At the Table is brought to you by Skillshare, because there's no better way to level up on life than learning some new skills. And right now, you can take over 25,000 classes starting at less than $10 a month. You can join over 7 million current creators in learning some new skills, either for your hobby or for your career, or whatever you want to learn them for. I myself am particular to the DSLR filming classes and photography, just some stuff that have always interested me, and you can check them out now. The first 500 people to click that link in the description and sign up get their first 2 months absolutely free, so check it out. Thank you to Skillshare, and welcome back to the table, Wonders. Ahoy, Wonders, and welcome back to the table. Here we be level 7 lads. We were last week, but now we actually have fresh sheets to work on.
Want to go over what each of you guys got then?
Sure. I got the reason I was trying to goad that blue dragon to spiking me with its hate air is I got the skill evasion, which I'm flavoring. That I learned how to do because when AJ cast haste on Wake, his body got like acclimated to that like hyper speed, and so with his natural training of his body has been able to focus and slow down time in times of dire need.
Fuck yeah, I'm down with that.
And then there's stillness of mind, which is something I've been waiting on, which allows Wake to cleanse the effects of anything that would cause fear or charm as an action.
Nice.
If he falls victim to some. Which, why would he? Because he's so strong-willed.
Hey, look, the Asterix have a new book out.
Yeah.
What? Where? What?
Huh?
Wait, no.
I'll be right back. Is that a town over there? Do they have a bookstore?
Chromega, what do you got going on?
Well, as I had stated last time, I do have the, I now resist necrotic damage, so any sort of necro damage coming my way, I don't really care all that much.
Fiends beware, they're in for a scare.
And I've been upgraded to just a siege unit in that I can destroy objects and barriers with much more ease, because I now just get an advantage on any sort of strength checks against breaking stuff and deal double damage to objects and structures. And one last thing that I didn't realize last week is I also gained an additional spell slot. And so to throw into there with more spells, I've learned Primal Frenzy, level 2 spell, which lets me speak words of power in Druidic, imbuing a creature with primal instincts of a predator. I can choose a willing creature other than myself that I can see, and until the spell ends, which is 1 round, they have advantage on melee attacks and gain an additional action on their next turn, but the action can only be used to attack, dash, or disengage.
So you have the ability to make the Monty Python rabbit.
Yes, and I have a feeling, Wake, that's going to come in handy on you.
Quite possibly I am a land shark.
And how about you?
Well, with the Spiritualist, all they really get is they now can do up to 4th level spells, and I got
nothing
more
to sneeze on.
And I got more HP, so I'm at 44 now.
Nice.
So I'm more durable.
We're all just a bit more durable.
And so will the monsters. And so will the monsters.
Yay! Excellent.
I mean, let's be real though. You guys are a fucking like 3-man militia. If you wanted, you could probably overtake a basic town.
I figured out what the best 3-man team would be for, like, in terms of just getting through a monster dungeon crawl. It is a monk, a barbarian, and a cleric, like a pure healer spec cleric.
And just those two up front, just killing everything.
Oh, smash, 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 smash. Here you go.
Smash, smash, smash. So the
Here's
Holy
a buff.
Trinity.
Yes.
Tank, DPS, healer.
Yep, tank, DPS, healer. All right, well, with all of that set in stone, I will say this upfront to you guys. Be prepared that the end of this episode might be, quote-unquote, the finale of this chapter.
Okay.
We will be getting etchings and little tidbits of the next chapter, and that's where we might cliffhang.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
Alrighty. Just so like everyone's up to speed, no confusion.
Just a
which
heads
also
up.
might mean this episode, I hate saying this out loud, could get railroady.
Okay.
No worries.
Could get railroady.
We'll try to be as fun of a crew for you to conduct as possible.
We will try to bite onto your baity plot hooks.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. So you guys have spent the night at least getting some decent rest. You use the boat for cover. The ship is pretty much just docked off on the side while Woe and Pobs Ravi are waiting for Lieutenant Gore to show up. Woe has been sticking more to the shoreline because she's a little bit more interested in speaking with her supposed, like, pseudo-mother, a.k.a. Valtara. You guys learn a little bit more information from talking to a bunch of people about the idea that the Underdark might be where you're going next, or you're heading towards in that direction. You're heading towards a little bit of a mountainside that kind of branches off the main mountain. There is a dwarven and drow city to behold there. There are civilizations that go up alongside the mountain, and there's also what's underneath the mountain. And also, to the south, there might be a ship graveyard where a true Fae is residing.
Which I think was what we were discussing at the tail end of
the last section.
Yep. You guys pretty much decide that it would be faster to at least try and traverse your way through the graveyard. Not Valtara, I apologize. Meetcha has been speaking to Mr. Holger this entire time, who apparently is a Yith in disguise. She has been gaining knowledge and information through him based on all the voices in her mind for like the past couple of years. So it was the Yith trying to speak to her about something. And apparently, through speaking to Mr. Holger, that this entire time they've been trying to use her as a vessel to get information to the party who might actually, save the world. So, since she is the most stable connection between the Yith and not the most corrupt motherfucker on the planet, it isn't turning into a fish man.
What's wrong with that?
Well, more, yeah,
An unnatural fish.
An unnatural fish
okay,
man.
okay.
You weren't a fish at the start. You were human, and then all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah, that is unnatural.
I mean, did you ever see a human with gills? It's just fucking weird, right?
They cast water breathing on themselves, and I'm like, you know what? That's like, don't put on blue face, man. Don't do that to me.
Fucking hell.
Chromagil just shrugs. But you have a blue face.
Exactly. They don't. Unless they drown.
Or choke.
I mean, I guess, huh.
I mean,
Counterintuitive.
Your skin is actually unnaturally pale because of dying once, so you look like a wraith.
Yep. Outdoor air will eventually do him some good.
You need to get some sun in you, Morgan. Just looks up into the sun, his skin's blistering, and nothing changes.
Ow. Just that same grimaced face laying on a beach, sipping from a coconut.
Yep.
This is happening. Morgan, you haven't been blinking. I know.
Come on, son. Do your damn job.
Kill me.
But we can't.
So, Meetcha will branch off from speaking to Mr. Holger and speak to you. Well, depending on where you guys decide it might be the best way to travel, the Yith can use me as a vessel to guide the ship. So, she can travel you through safer waters just until you get up to the mountain range. From there, it's free reign. Just don't go into deeper water at that point. So you can pretty much just travel around the the landmass.
All right. Well, we were thinking about heading towards a ship graveyard. That sounded like the quickest route. And, if we just book it, maybe nothing will go wrong.
Okay. Meetcha just shrugs. She's like, okay, that's not my call. I guess I'm going to have to speak to whoever. Her eyes roll over.
Is that,
Yeah, I'm not alone.
That's probably not comfortable. I do that when I, bite at things underwater.
Chromagil
You
kind of
hear a
winces.
different
I
voice
don't
speak
get
out
this
of
expression.
Meetcha. It's another female voice, but she speaks to you. Do not be alarmed. This is merely just to prove to you that the Yith are trying to guide you. If you see the vessel acting this way, do not interact with her in any way, shape, or form. Our connection is is tethered very closely, and any sort of deviation will distract her and may take you into dangerous waters.
All right. Wake stops himself from poking her.
Damn it, I was just about to say that. No.
You're lucky I got an even there, because I was definitely going evens odds. Does Chromagil take this advice?
Just all three of us
He
were
does.
tempted to just...
Yeah.
I just want to know what happens.
You just watch Valtara.
This seems like the safest time to learn.
So they're pretty much telling you that when she enters in this trance-like state, it's best not to touch her. The Yith are pretty much overtaking her body and her mind at this point, which means that she does not need to eat and or sleep during this period, and it will be the fastest way for you guys to travel without having to stop.
Well, that's really convenient. In terms of supplies, I mean. I mean, is she okay in there while you're doing this? Like,
At this point, the woman is speaking to you again. Sorry, I just threw the dice. The woman is speaking to you still. In this form, her body is in a more vulnerable state. She is a little bit more susceptible to damage if anything physical was to happen to her. However, her mind and her mental state act as if she's sleeping. So for this is merely a dream.
oh boy, she's gonna be really confused when she wakes up.
But very well rested.
But she is known. She knows, like, the Yith are still speaking to her during this dream, so it's not like the connection's completely severed. She'll know what's happening. So if you drew a dick on her forehead and then she woke up, she'll know.
My third favorite thing about water is that it's wet and deep.
So they
There's
give her the
so much
play-by-play.
Yeah, the Yith is gonna give her the play-by-play. So the moment she wakes up, she'll be up to speed.
And you are being stabbed. You are continuing to be stabbed.
They keep taking these shiny metal discs out of your pocket and using them for commerce. They said you wouldn't mind.
Your viscera is being used to decorate the hull.
And end scene.
Well, I'm going to go now. Bye. Good
Sending
luck.
you back. I presume you wish to inhabit your head, correct? It is quite far away from the rest of you.
Enjoy your last few moments of consciousness.
This is the Star Fox. Good luck.
Yeah, and with that, you actually hear you hear not like bone crunching, but like when someone snaps their neck really loud.
Some contorting sounds.
Yeah, a little contorting sounds, and her eyes roll back, and she's there. Okay, well now I know what the Yith completely look like. It's not as scary as I thought it would be. They almost take the form of just giant, like almost ship-sized jellyfish. The best way I could describe it.
Yeah. It doesn't sound that terrifying.
There are many different sized ships. What kind of ship is this jellyfish?
I'm guessing that they come in different sizes as well. Like maybe there's like really big ones and then there are smaller ones that might be
Like
the size.
me!
Yeah.
Chromagill's
Exactly,
excited at the thought
Chromagill.
of other creatures that are huge.
Okay, so pretty much that's been brought to your attention. Valtara, is still off in the distance, just, watching Woe do her guard duty until she finally decides to fall asleep. You guys get your full rest, so any HP that was gone is completely there. All your spell slots are back. You are now acting under the benefit of being a new level.
Wake hops out of the shallows of the water, does his stretches. Ah. Feels good.
This entire location is infested with bloaterfish.
Poke.
Nothing happens.
All right, going for the punt. I kick it as far out into the ocean as I can. Just gonna go ahead and roll athletics for the hell of it.
Yeah.
16.
You kick its upper jaw and it latches back like a rubber band.
Got one.
It actually responds to that. It just just lets out a little chirp and then waddles away.
Away you go. They're basically immortal.
Chromagill just is observing these creatures, seeing that they're not really moving all that much, and as someone who lived a very stationary life, respects that, and just looks at them. Hello? Do you speak with travelers too? Have others come along? Oh, I apologize. Cover of spores.
Well, now there are spores all over this thing's eye.
Now, little creature, tell me, perhaps you haven't traveled, but other travelers may have seen you. What kind of mysteries and stories could you unfold for me?
I've lived for centuries.
Really? What?
This is all you're hearing, Chromagill.
Well, what have you seen?
I've seen the comings and goings of civilization. I've seen angels fall from the sky. I've seen devils come from the ground. I've seen mountains grow, and I've seen mountains move. I have lived a very long and fulfilling life, and my time is nearly at an end. It is great to actually speak to someone outside of my people's impediments to speak to them.
And punt number 2. As Wake runs up to punt this one away. 15 again.
Your time is coming at an end.
It kicks over. You kick him into the ocean. Tell them my story.
His time was coming to an end. I have no... He had seen so much, such wisdom. I hope that we get to meet again on...
Did you see the distance on that one? What's with all the racket?
There was so much more he had to teach me.
Whose time is coming to an end?
My friend, that Wake just kicked over
There's all
yonder.
bloaterfish all over the place.
The bloater fish.
They seem to be a wise and respectable people.
One of them looks up to you, Morgan.
Oh yeah, real
Such-
wise.
Brilliance.
Valtar has actually been spending the morning, like, writing about these things. She's not actually seen these things before. They don't appear on Dragon.
Huh, so they're just southern island
Yeah,
fish.
pretty much. This is a new species that she's never seen before, although she's, like, writing down, like, all the ecological dangers these things pose to everything, considering that no matter how much she's taking weapons to this thing, they just take it in stride and they don't bleed. Actually, she takes out a dagger and you watch as she's actually like rubbing it against this thing to take a sample of its scale. She pulls it back and the knife is chipped.
See, I was thinking at some point, like, what if you just, like, got a bunch of these things together and just made a suit out of them, but it would be really cumbersome.
What if
and
you made an
very
entire
stringy.
ship out of these?
Well, the problem is stringing them together is what I found, because you can't pierce their scales, so you can't, like, sew them to anything.
Okay, I suppose that's true.
Morgan, you remember, roll me a nature check.
Okay.
Morgan, you might remember.
That's a 13.
No, you do remember. These things comes in all varying shapes and sizes. You've actually seen one that is a dark purple that came out of a cavern that was about the size of a rowboat. And was way more spikier than all the other ones. Like their horns and their thorns actually curled on their bodies, almost like ram horns.
So funny story.
Uh-huh.
I've seen one of those.
Yeah?
Big as one of those, points at the rowboat. Purple, like her. And their spines and their fins, they curl around like nasty fingernails.
I saw one once that might have been about that size or bigger, but it was also like this weird mutation thing that had these awful tumors all over it.
You know that's the abyss. The abyssal.
Oh, the abyssal.
Yeah, exactly. Those were the... Oh, man, that
Yeah,
was
that
a long
sounds
time
about
ago.
right.
I spoke to one, and he said he'd lived for hundreds of years and seen the rise and fall of civilizations, and then Wake kicked him into the ocean. It was fascinating!
You know, those damn things are basically immortal. I wouldn't be surprised.
Like lobsters. Snooty little crawfish.
You see there's one crab looking up at you.
I know your pain. Like, you're not a lobster. You get it. Scuttles away.
Yeah.
Not that hungry. I still have a bunch of dried fish.
Okay. The dragons return over to the ship. They look fucking exhausted. They have been pretty much guarding over the entire canal most a couple of days. They return to you. They like sink into the water and return in their human forms and kind of wander over to the rest of you. Well, Pops Ravi that speaks to you. Well, Gore hasn't returned. This is a little alarming.
A bit.
To the point where I don't know what we're going to do with you people. I don't know what's gonna happen here, and I honestly don't care. And then you just watch as Woe slaps him in the face. The most we can probably offer you is one of us can at least guide you or this ship over to the docks of South Zealous. From what you do from there will be of your own accord. We can possibly give you something that would allow you access into the city, but I know some of you have other plans to travel elsewhere.
Yeah. Being able to resupply wouldn't be a bad idea, though.
We could always use more materials on our travels. However, time is of the essence, so I'm not sure if we have the ability to
You hear
dilly-dally
Meetcha,
and
you hear
look
that
for
neck
things.
snapping from Meetcha.
1 second.
We would not be able to stop at this place. Once our guidance is in motion, it would have to take us all the way to the end of our guidance.
All right, well, do we have a ship that we can use? Because I think there's only the one here, and we need to get these people away as well.
May I? So, Woe kind of like looks to the rest of you. Valtara has spoken to me and told me of what it is you are doing.
Yeah. Well,
I know what you carry.
Okie dokie.
I kind of glare at Voltara a little.
She just looks up at you.
I just kind of like cock my head to the side, like, well, it's out there now. I'm just not going to say anything, so maybe Pops doesn't hear it.
What do you mean? Pops Robbie actually just turns to you and looks to Woe and goes, "What do you mean? This is none of your concern, whelp. Your task is to guard the canal." And Pops shrinks.
I'm really glad we saved her. Wake kind of soliloquizes in his mind.
It is unfortunate that you have no vessel, and I know that this is the only one that would possibly be able to ferry you to where you need to go. It is not a proper ship, but unless you have any other ideas, I don't see why you can't take this once you are able to ferry those back to the over to South Zealous.
Well, it sounds like we don't really have the time to make the detour to South Zealous, is the problem. As you know, time is of the essence.
It is unfortunate.
Were any of the ships that you guys attacked last night salvageable?
She like looks out to she looks out towards the water, and you see the ships kind of bobbing upside down.
I mean, if we flip that one back over, would it work? I mean, it just needs to float, right? It's going to a graveyard anyway. I mean, hopefully through it, but, to it, at least.
A better ship might serve stronger in said graveyard, however. It is a graveyard of ships. Seems that most that try to travel through there don't make it, at least from my perspective.
Yeah, but I believe that's because of the creature that resides there and less of it being, treacherous waters.
I'm gonna roll something real quick.
I mean, that ship we were on has absolutely no armaments anyway, so if one of those that might have had cannons on it might have been a little bit better.
Cleva and Mr. Kardak actually suggest to you, if this little thing of yours is very important, and they do owe you one for kind of saving their lives, them and possibly one other person can usher everyone else over to South Zealous. It's probably about a day's walk from here.
Oh, that'd work. That'd work just fine.
That seems like a way to solve this problem.
Bliss, on the other hand, is just like, I'll do it, unless I get paid. She's not budging on that. But
I mean, see what she does when she's here without a ship, so, like...
yeah.
She can hop on that ship and head towards that graveyard with us.
Pobs, like, looks over at her and just goes, I understand where you're at. I do too, Dragon. I do too.
How much payment would you require, Bliss?
How much you got?
Chromigo kind of rummages through his folds.
Guys, like, even though talking to her, I want you two to roll an insight check.
Chromagil produces his smoke wand and just holds it aloft. I have this! I hear it can make great distractions.
That's a 20.
Insight is a 16 for Wake.
You both know that she's just trying to scrounge for anything. She's not looking for actual cash. She's a greedy little shit. She, like, looks at the wand. She like, kind of, like waves it about. What do you say this does exactly?
Well, it can produce a cloudy vapor that can shroud you and be good for escapes or for, just causing some sort of general visual chaos.
This is acceptable. I will join you on your quest to chauffeur these people to South Zealous.
And there you go! Commerce! I understand people now!
Good for you, Chromagil. You did great.
I bought bliss!
That means something different, probably.
Kardak looks to you. Lad, you better be careful. That's an Underdark drug.
Oh! But Bliss is also my friend with the instruments.
He just, like, pats you on the shoulder. He, like, doesn't regale you with any more information.
Just gonna let that one sit for
He's
me.
gonna let that one slide. Pobs Robbie just looks over to Woe. Well, if that's the case, then I suppose we're going to have to go back and wait for Gore, or at least try to hold the perimeter unless something big tries to make its way down here again.
They did say that they were being followed by a massive eel, I believe. So I'm not sure if that ever showed itself.
A massive eel?
Yeah, like really big. Like there was one in the water. I'm not sure if that's the one that they were referring to. But they did mention that they were sacrificing the people to a... I mean, we gave you the itinerary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pretty much gave them all that. So at this point, everyone else, all the NPCs are going to be chauffeured over to South Zealous. You guys pretty much have this derelict ship. This is pretty much Woe's way of just saying, take what you have, get where you need to go, and get there fast. If anything does come this way, or any naval officers try to figure out what's going on, we'll try and keep them distracted and off your tail.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Woe.
It's the most I could do. And she turns over to Valtara, and they both nod at each other.
Wake looks up at their newly acquired ship.
It is still the Obscuro.
All right.
It's not pretty.
Well, it ain't pretty, but it'll have to do.
Cracks his knuckles. And begins climbing aboard the ship.
Chromagill also boards. I've gotten familiar with this vessel. Hopefully, its second trip will be a tad more pleasant than the first, but ship graveyard, not a lot of confidence.
Might be a tad hard to navigate with a man with a crew of 5, but I think we'll have to make do.
What's up, Morgan?
Morgan's gonna mosey over to Pavsravi and Woe.
They're still human form. You don't have to look up at them.
Okay. It's a shame Gore isn't here. If you see him, can you give him this? And I hand them the coin.
Pops Robbie takes the coin and he looks like he's about to bite into it, and Woe slaps him in the hand and takes the coin.
Thank you.
What is this message you wish to give?
Morgan's still going strong.
I get it.
Isn't that your name?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
I know the joke just dawned on me, but he was my superior officer, and I think it might be a nice surprise for him to know that one of his mercs is still kicking.
I will grant him this knowledge if we see him again.
Much obliged.
Now, off with you. With the nature of this information, we are unfortunately throwing our hands into the future. We're throwing our future into the hands of pirates. But if they can end this, then I'm certain everything will fall into place.
Yep. Wait up!
Just in the background here.
I think this is the mast line.
Whoa! There it goes.
Oh God.
I'll be right back. Hold on.
Anchors away, huh?
No, not yet.
Morgan
The
runs.
anchor's still banging on the side of it.
Morgan's running to the ship.
Wait!
So with that, you guys pretty much are now ready to go ahead and start sailing out towards the east. Before that, not Valtara, I keep saying it. Meetcha, is just waiting for this voice to kick in. She's looking left and right, okay, well, when's it happening? When's it gonna happen?
I don't know. Let's get half sails until we get out of this bay here. Anybody?
Wake's just kind of sitting at the helm.
It's been a while since I've done this.
The only other person that would probably have any other knowledge of this
Morgan.
would be Morgan. So I need both of you to roll me a history check.
Oh boy.
Me?
Yes.
Oh boy. History.
Oh, that's not bad. That's a 15.
Oh, okay. 16.
With your combined efforts, you're able to at least get the top deck working. You do have some supplies still. Woe kind of just gave you the ship with everything underneath in the decks below. So you have all the materials that was left over there from the smuggler ship.
It's so much merchandise.
Chromagill, since he doesn't know anything about ships, but is watching these guys intently working on this to try and pick up anything just from observing, would that be an insight to try and learn from watching something, or investigation?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an insight.
That is 9.
You are too off-put by all, like, this weird arcane vibe that all the piping is giving you.
So I'm just too distracted to really.
Yeah, you're
Take
too
much
distracted to learn what's going on around here. And it's
Alright.
also weird that you're on a ship made of dead wood and, you know, that you own this vessel. You own the corpse of a tree that is mangled in metal.
Probably several trees.
I was about to say several trees.
Chromagil, just while musing on the death of plant life in order to further other excursions, just kind of tries to make some sort of just message of, I appreciate your sacrifice, noble plant life, but perhaps with the help of your wood, kind of just touches the pieces of the ship.
Tree flesh.
With your
viscera.
with your fleshy remains on this vessel, perhaps you will propel us into a future that can see nature live in balance and harmony once more. Let it be known that your sacrifice won't be in vain as long as Chromagil stands aboard your deck. Just kind of steps a foot down, likely accidentally breaking something underneath.
Roll an athletics check.
Sure thing.
Uh-oh.
Hey, a nat 1. I don't know if that's good or bad in this situation.
Thanks to Chrome.
Falls through the deck.
Thanks to Crump! I'm fine! Message received! Kind of climbs up. I think the trees like me.
All right, so Wake's gonna take the helm as we head out into the ocean until Meetcha starts, GPSing us.
Yep. So with that, you guys take off. It is now in the middle of the afternoon. So far, Meetcha hasn't gotten any visions or any information as of right now because you're still kind of in the more shallow, more than deep water. You are just passing by what looks like the city spire of South Zealous. It is filled to burst. You just see a giant mountainside that is covered in trees, and then a giant maybe 5-layer spire of marble that reaches up out of the sky, out of the trees. And then in the middle are 2 towers, and then one very large tower in the center that pokes up and almost looks like a cathedral in a way.
Huh. Fancy looking place.
Yep. You actually notice that there is a strong naval presence there. You can see, even from this distance, there are flags that are just about as big as the Legerdemain Spire. And this city almost looks like it kind of has little, it almost looks like it enters into the mountainside itself. The mountain is way bigger, by the way. This is
Right.
the backbone of the continent itself you're looking at this point. And the city has an entryway that goes into the mountain.
Okay.
Which you would imagine would be where they would get to North Zealous at that point. Meetcha finally starts to have that glaze looked over her eyes, and she looks over to you and holds her hand out as if to say, "Let me take the wheel."
Oh,
Wake steps off and walks off to the side, looks over towards South Zealous.
yeah, sure, I got something to do anyway.
Fuck you, Ezra's dad!
I did it for you. Did it for you, buddy.
I don't get this.
Yeah, it's okay.
Chromagil just standing there awkwardly,
Yep.
It's an old thing.
cap kind of tilted.
Thing for a friend, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I can respect that.
Apparently his dad's some sort of asshole admiral.
Which one?
Lockwood.
Roll history with advantage.
Let's see. That's a 19.
Oh, you mean Admiral Lockwood, the guy who runs all of South Zealous's naval officers? He's Lieutenant Gore's superior.
So, my boss's boss.
Your former boss's boss.
Yeah, let's go with that. That Lockwood.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he had a son.
Apparently he had a few.
That kind of sounds like Admiral life.
I came from a spore. I'm not entirely sure I really have traditional parents, but I assume they were fine.
Your spore had to come from somebody, right? Presumably another of your kind.
Well, myconids can during certain seasons of their lives as years go by, sometimes their spores can actually create a mushroom that grows over time, and sometimes with the essence of magic, it just grows over into an actual myconid.
My
So-
concept of consciousness hadn't begun until I was already the tallest in my circle, really. I don't remember much before I was... Kind of looks at himself. Tall. A new phase
This
of my
is
life.
my gift and my curse.
A new phase of my life began, and really everything before that I kind of dismissed as unimportant and unnecessary. I wonder what they were like.
I think we all do at a certain point. I never got to know my parents really well.
Meetcha doesn't respond. Valtara is like looking over to you. Well, I suppose she like looks over to you. I don't know how long you've been around, but I've been alive for at least 200 years so far.
It's a real long time.
My kind can live to at least 500.
I don't know how long my kind live.
I do.
Oh?
200.
Oh!
Congratulations, Wake! You could someday be as old as Valtara!
I now feel really, really young. Huh.
Speak for yourself.
How old are you?
36.
I'm still younger than you.
Yeah, but I'm a mortal man. We only live up to like 80.
Oh. Still makes me feel young.
And I know Meetcha's kind only lives up to 80.
Poor kitty.
Death comes for us all, and unfortunately it is a bitter concept.
Speak for yourself.
And speaking of death, looks at the mountain. Do you think it's going to be there?
I mean, death can be anywhere, really. I have a friend who knows, I mean, kind of like you, but different. Like, he met death, and then was offered to be like, its vassal, and he was like, nah. Now he's cursed.
That kind of sounds like the arrangement that Vecker had with you.
Huh. That bargain sounds familiar.
Then maybe it's very similar to you.
Old Tarkin Blobby, tall, dark, and blobby, excuse me, offered me something very similar.
Huh.
And I don't know what happened after that. I guess just out of spite, he woke me up.
My friend's scales started turning black.
Huh.
Necrosis. It's settled in.
I mean, he seems to be doing all right now, just doing a lot of studying, trying to either figure it all out or...
Is it like, how far did it spread?
Was this the fellow who liked the gods?
Yes!
Oh, okay. I remember you mentioning him.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you all got introduced to
Yeah.
him. Last time we saw him, I'm pretty sure he was like 3/4 or something like that.
No,
like
he was.
his body was...
It was mostly like it was in the middle. It kind of like started going gray and then into white. So it like kind of like went from like black into spectrum into grayscale into white scale.
Oh. So all of his tan scales are gone, the poor boy.
Yeah, so that sounds like simple necrosis, just otherwise for a dragonborn or some kind of draconic creature.
That sounds...
You were far more tan before you died.
Well, yeah. Believe it or not, my time in the sun left me very tan. Then, all this happened, and now look at me.
Right.
But it looks like you took Vecker's deal and this other guy didn't, so what makes him so special?
He declined the deal, didn't he?
Yeah, just kind of came back.
Huh.
I mean, we didn't want him to stay dead, so we didn't let him.
Okay.
liked him.
That makes things very interesting.
We liked him a lot.
He seems nice.
He's very nice.
That's good.
You are sailing away from South Zealous at this point. You are going completely south.
Bye.
You are the only, like, after a couple of hours, you are now watching the mountainside be the mountain peak only be the only thing that you can see off in the horizon. You are sailing into deep waters, and this makes you feel very uneasy because this is you remember trying to sail out into deep water, or at least swim out to deep water, and about here is where some shit got really, really bad.
Oh, I'm getting the butterflies in my stomach. Oh, they're there. Oh,
Did
they're
you
alive.
eat them?
I mean, they were caterpillars before, and now they're butterflies.
I think our friend is anxious.
I hold up my hand. I just kind of look at the scar. Last time I was out here, I almost lost my hand.
Yep, that'll do it.
I almost died.
Does anyone want to peer over the side of the ship?
Grobogil does. I don't know why I rolled for that, but he does.
Yeah, Wake will as well.
You look out over the ocean. I need you to roll me a nature check. I need you to roll me a perception check.
Oh, man. Not bad, though. 16.
19.
So before you noticed that the sea was blue, like it had a very nice, like, naval blue tint. Mm-hmm. Get this. The water is now pitch black. Like, almost as thick as oil.
That's not good. Last time I saw anything like this, there were vampires in the water.
Maybe the water's just really deep and looks up. Is the sun still up, I'm guessing?
Oh, yeah, it's still up there.
Yeah, but it would still be blue.
Well,
I
remember,
suppose
you're
you're right.
now entering deep water, and this planet is mostly water.
I mean, yeah, but Wake's been in deep water before, even like before the adventures. Like he traveled by rowboat around the world.
Oh
to find
no,
where
that's
he went.
fair. Like
yeah.
you could, yeah, but remember,
Something's still definitely wrong.
yeah, something's still definitely wrong, but for the most part, it doesn't, like, you don't, like, you still have that feeling, that gut feeling of, okay, this is unnatural, but the fact that you're on this boat and so far nothing has gone awry and Meetcha is still under the influence of the Ith, that feels like that's the only reason why you guys haven't met anything dangerous so far.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Yith wouldn't just send us into anything that wants us dead unless it wants us dead, and it's been tricking us this whole time.
Paranoia racks Wake's brain.
Cromwell walks over to Meetcha, not touching her, since he understands that was...
Meetcha completely just, like, is stone-faced, like, her eyes are glazed over. She is taking the wheel in stride. She does not look like she's moving anywhere else. Like, nothing on her body almost, like, makes it look like she's, like, awake. Like I said, when you watched everyone else go into a trance, maybe they, like, twinge a little bit or move in their slumber. It kind of has that same feeling. It's just that her eyes are wide open and it's paled over white.
Cromwell doesn't touch her or anything, but it's just... Are we sure we're going in the right direction? This water seems scary.
This is the path where my ancestors tread. So long as I follow it, we will be safe.
Well, our guide says this is the safe way to travel, Wake, so perhaps this might be going into danger in order to
If you feel
avoid it.
If you feel uneased, I suggest you get used to that feeling for quite some time. We will be on the sails for 4 days.
All right.
Wake's gonna go grab one of those barrels downstairs, tie up some rope, and just try to drag up some of this completely black water just to see it. See
Okay.
if it's natural seawater.
Roll me a survival check.
All right. Survival is a 19.
Okay. You dunk the barrel into the water. You pretty much let it sit in the water for a couple of minutes. It sinks under, and then after a while, it starts to give a little bit of a heavy tug on the rope that you're holding onto, and you start pulling it back up. Roll an athletics check.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Oh, easy as pie. That is a 23.
You bring up the barrel without incident. It is filled with water. You open up the lid. You look inside. You caught maybe like a couple of other fish that were just swimming by.
Oh, cool.
So you have like maybe a few tropical fish inside of it. Nothing like substantial that's going to feed you, but like just some fish that got idly caught inside of it. Maybe a stray jellyfish. And the water's blue.
Huh.
Like there's nothing inherently wrong with this water.
All right.
Wake's tensions assuaged. She's going to take some of those tropical fish out and just make some sashimi for everybody to have a little snack.
Another survival check.
All right. Whip out my dagger. Have that thing hop the edge. That is a 16.
Good thing too, because a couple of them were pufferfish.
All right. Fugu.
Just thinking that.
Yep.
And careful. If I nick it and Morgan dies, he won't be that mad.
He's already dead. What does he care?
I mean,
And then he's just like, wait, I thought I was. No. So like I said, you guys pretty much have a couple of days to kill as you're sailing out into open waters. You do remember that there was food and water provisioned because of the smuggler trade that was going on. There are other crates and stuff that you still haven't checked out, and there are 2 other floors.
Wake leaves a small plate of sashimi next to Meetcha for when she wakes up from her stupor. And I'm actually going to try to, with what time I have during the day, I'm going to try to refine some of that fugu poison, actually, to see if I can extract enough of it to make a difference on something.
Okay, roll me another survival check.
That's a 16 again.
16. Maybe like a quarter of a vial, you can extract the poison.
All right, so like one application of a weapon, maybe?
Not even a weapon, like a knife.
Yeah, that's fine. I was probably going to apply it to a dagger.
Okay.
Chromagil is going to explore kind of like the cargo area and just kind of take stock of what they have on this ship and see if there's anything.
If you want to roll me a investigation check, which floor are you going to go on? There's the first floor and then the bottom floor.
Okay. It's gonna look at the first floor. For investigation, you said?
Yeah.
6.
You find the vegetables no problem. Like that's basically all. Like that's the only thing on this ship that feels familiar to you is that there's vegetation on here. There's a couple of mushrooms, not your kind. So you have like a little dried up stock of mushrooms. So there was that in case people wanted to eat it. There's a nice stock of oranges that was kept away from all the other people who were on the ship before you. You have some vials of water and some dried meat. Most of this you can't eat or have, but this you have supplies for a couple of days to hold you guys over. This is more than enough to keep you afloat for the 4 days travel.
Looking around the ship with the, including anything that they might be shipping and stuff, because I know we're shipping some things for the Fine Day Boardwalk Company. Are there any sugars or anything like that, like they might load into their cotton candy machines or something?
Roll me roll me an investigation check and tell me which floor you're going to look at.
I'm going to start with wherever we're finding most of the food provisions.
Okay, so that's the first floor.
All right. And this is investigation, you said?
Yep.
That would be a 15.
15? There's some sugar in here. All of it's all processed and in bags. You probably have like 1 or 2 crates that are full of it.
Excellent.
There are some spices in here too, like a couple of peppers, a lot of dried spices. Probably good for like a good couple of bucks. Remember, this smuggler's operation was a bunch of things from the south that was supposed to go up north.
Wake's actually going to call everybody down here that's, not manning the helm for a meeting to go over a small plan that he's been ruminating on since he heard that that basically we're going to be heading into like a Fae realm.
We could do this, but I would rather, I want to see what he gets first.
Yeah,
before we do
absolutely. I'll hold off on that, but that's my plan after discovering this stuff.
that. Okay, so you do find 2 crates worth of spices and sugars.
Excellent.
Okay.
Morgan?
Morgan is actually going to sit near the bow of the deck and actually grip onto the Banshee blade.
Okay.
Let's chat with this new friend. So,
All right, who are you going to replace to have her be a part of your consciousness?
well, here's the kicker, though. Because I was perusing, again, the official paperwork here. And now that I'm level 7, I can actually know up to 3 ghosts. So, I think fluff-wise,
Fluff. I'm going to say for fluff-wise, you're just switching someone out for this
Yeah.
thing.
all right, big guy, I need to talk to our new friend.
Okay, I suppose.
You start hearing sobbing coming from this other ghost. This is a woman. You could when you look at her attire, she is not from any of the southern islands. She is from the north. She looks like someone who probably lived maybe 500, maybe 1,000 years ago. This clothing is old.
Is there a way I can determine her race?
I need you to roll me an investigation check.
Okay, oh boy. That's a 15 on investigation.
15? Yeah. This is a drow.
Hello?
She holds her spindly fingers up from her face. She turns and looks at you. Her face is missing. It looks like there's a hole.
By gods. My name is Morgan.
I know who you are. When you grasped the blade, I was able to read your thoughts.
Good to know.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I don't know. My identity was stolen. I lived long ago. I don't know how I traveled this way. All I know is that who I originally once was taken away, and it's been so long that I don't even remember that much.
If this helps, based on what I can see, you used to be a drow.
She angrily, like, sits up. Like, basically from what you're looking at right now is that, your original ghost is off on the side, and now this new form is, like, maybe in front of you. Like, time is, like, kind of, like, dead in the air for you at this point.
Yeah.
And, like, everything's kind of, like, darkened out so you can see this ghost, and
It's
it
like
feels
an
like...
umbral plane.
Yeah,
kind of
pretty
thing.
much.
Okay.
She stands up and looks towards you. That rings familiar.
Okay.
That rings familiar. Why does it ring familiar?
I'm just here to help. As you can see, I got other spirits with me.
As I can see, you are hollow on the inside.
So there's something we have in common to a degree.
Yet you have a face and mine is gone. Speak. Continue your...
Okay,
continue your...
okay.
Continue.
You're clearly not from the South based on your attire. It's a very old attire. Centuries old.
I speak from a bay. One that was cursed.
Let me see here.
One that runs the occult on a common ground.
I'm gonna roll a history check, see if that rings any bells.
Mhm.
Damn, that's an 8.
An 8. The only thing, like, everyone commonly knows that Barnacle Bay is a cursed fucking island.
I can't recall if that's on the northern half or the southern hemisphere.
That is on the northern half. Like this is such common knowledge that everyone knows don't fucking go there.
It wouldn't happen to be Barnacle Bay.
I know not of what the names of the outsiders used to call it, but we spoke to the occult there. It is a nexus. I remember it being a nexus point for witches and sorcerers.
So like a ley line.
Indeed.
I see. I don't know what happened to you. I mean, you clearly came from a time way beyond me.
I not know what time is. All I remember is that I was upon my island, and I was speaking to the spirits. I have drawn in a curse. My identity was stolen from me. And then I remember being tethered to something, and then there was silence. And then a large creature took me from my homeland and brought me here. And then another wielder took me. I tried to commune with them, and all I got, and they had not spoken to me. Not like you. You are the first person I've spoken to in who knows how long.
Well, I'm always here for a chat. That must have been very lonely in this weird umbral plane.
The closest I had was this creature from the depths that spoke through to that other monster. I don't even know if it was a person. This abyssal creature grasping its hands onto the hilt of this blade. I saw it, but then engulfing it was another gnarled, I suppose jellyfish is what they would call it. And it was encased in abyssal viscera.
Oh, that is not good. The Abyssal are getting to the ith. Okay. This is a lot to unpack here. The blade's gonna stay on my hilt. There are plenty of other spirits around me, as you can plainly see. I'm kind of like a vessel myself. Now.
Fecker has tasked you.
Oh, yes, he has. He's been very, very cruel about
What
it.
what was his deal? What does the Lord of the Dead wish to grant you?
That, my dear, I'm trying to figure out myself. Last thing I remember, I was on Gas Isle, waiting to die. I lost my men, and I should have been dead that day. For some reason, Vecker decided to take me away from the archdemons that were going to kill me and give me a task. And he ain't answering.
Maybe he can't answer. I was trying to commune with him as well.
Well, it seems that fate, or at least the man in charge of fate, brought us together. Maybe there's a reason for that. Because the blade that you're in, this is a banshee blade. It's a soul render.
She wants you, she looks to you to present the sword. That's my face. That's the face on the tip of the blade.
I see.
She is getting, you don't see her getting angry, but, you can see, her clothing, her hair, any loose articles on this ethereal image is wisping around and getting angry.
I gently sheath it back. It's all right. It's all right. I know you're upset. I don't know who did this to you. But at least you got a friend out of this now.
If you can speak to Vecker once more, I will lend you whatever aid I can possibly give you, under the circumstance that you find a way to let me die.
Great. I'm on the same boat too.
You may call me whatever you wish. I do not remember what my original name was, nor does that matter. I just wish that my spirit would move on and not be siphoned to something that tethers me back.
Very well. If I can get a hold of him, we'll figure something out.
Done.
She's still with you. You have to switch her out for the blade.
I'm gonna put you away now. I gotta speak to an old friend of mine.
She's very wary about that. She kind of hesitates.
It's all right.
Persuasion check.
Ah, shit. Well, that's a 12.
Well, frankly, she doesn't have a choice.
She complies. You're about to think of some way to try and honey this up, but she complies.
All right.
Puts it back and Ulfr comes back.
What'd I miss? You missed a lot, old friend.
Everybody come down here. I have an idea.
All right.
All right. It is now late at night. Not super late, but now it's 6 o'clock, and you guys are still moving, which is very unconventional for a ship. But again, the Yeth is still guiding Meetcha at this point. So it obviously has a plan for her to keep going, so best not to play around with that, less terrible here be dragons shit happens.
Right.
Everyone is brought down. You all...
Aside from Meetcha, obviously.
Yeah. You all get some food and water, and you all gather around as Wake has something to say.
All right. Now hear me out. I have met a few Fae creatures in the past. Pixie. One of my pets is a fairy dragon.
Yes, you mentioned
And
that.
yeah, it's great. And the one thing I know about them is they love sweet things. So I think that if we make something just really awesome, like a delicious cake or something for this whatever Fae lady that wants bottled ships, maybe we could get on her good side. And she'd enjoy the cake, and we'd all just be like, hey, we'll, hit you with more on the way back. Probably won't come back that way, but she doesn't know that. Gets a nice cake. Maybe we just sail right on through.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Chromagel looks at the crate of sugars. How does this turn into fluffy cake? It seems like powder.
Yes, it's all powder. And, I've seen some people do it before, so, how hard could it actually be?
Valtara, looks to you. I'm not a cook.
Yeah. I mean, if only Grammy were here, she'd be able to make an amazing cake. Whatever. But we still have this sugar, and probably other things that are needed for a cake.
Is there anything else that this Fae would be appeased by?
Our ship and lives, as far as I'm aware.
I wouldn't like to give them that.
Yeah, I'd much rather a cake or something else sweet. If we can't make a cake, then maybe we can use the sugar to make some sort of candy or something.
We have 3 more days. We could probably still rummage around here to see if there's anything else that would be of equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
I found some bitter vegetables. Perhaps if they were sweet and dipped in sugar, it might work.
Not sure. Never been.
I
much of a
tried doing that
vegetable
with
guy.
my children once before. They did not take to that very well. It's kind of hard to lie to your children and explain to them, a woman of science and a woman of knowledge, to explain to her children that a beet is the candy of vegetables.
Perhaps she would like beets.
Beets are sweet, but I
Actually, no, Wake wouldn't know that. Wake's never eaten a vegetable.
You are a carnivore.
Yeah.
Valtara would know more about that.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
Wait, then what do her kids eat? Wake ponders to himself.
Wait, what?
If they're having trouble eating their vegetables and they're herbivores, then what?
Well,
I,
then
gue-
what
I
would
guess
they
I
want?
guess it's like all fruit. That's the only thing I can think of.
Fruit, greens, and vegetables. So my children were much more akin to having very large leaves from trees, palm leaves, anything that any roots that grew from the ground. They were very much into potatoes.
Ah. All right. Well, we're gonna see if we can make some delicious sweet thing for this Fae.
I would say
lady.
the worst case scenario, let's leave one bag of sugar left alone. Even if we don't have a morsel, this is just the essence of sweet, essentially.
Yeah.
Maybe that will do.
I mean, we have a crate of these, so
Do you
want
want to roll a history check real quick?
Fuck, nat 20.
Nat 20? If you remember listening to Yit and to when anything that had to do with the Fae, seasons were a big thing. If you remember, like, Yit always kept talking about something about the fall or autumn, and some of your travels, the spring and summer was brought into play. You don't know how well, but this might be a good way, if you're going to run with this appeasement idea, that something that has to partake in that season might be beneficial.
Well, I suppose it depends on what season this Fae associates with. Or if it's just, what season is coming. And, I mean, every Fae I've talked to...
You are currently in summer.
All right, so it's summer right now. The fall is coming. So, if we have any apples around, maybe like some cider or lemonade. Do we have any fruits around here, like, at all?
I point out the box that I had found that seemed to have vegetables, like vegetation and
There
plants
are
in them.
oranges.
Oranges.
Okay.
There are there's a box of navel oranges in here.
It's summerish. I mean, the vegetables are definitely a spring thing and a fall thing, I guess.
Perhaps
I don't know.
slices of oranges coated in sugar.
Might not
Just
be
sort
a
of
bad
a
idea.
candied orange slice.
Morgan?
I want to roll a history check to see if I can recall any, like, childhood treats as a kid.
Go for it.
All right, so
Doing a history check on childhood?
that's a 14.
I mean, he did die, so some of that might have been lost in translation.
You remember as a wee lad in your little sailor's outfit, like
As a Whittle Morgan Strong.
a Widow Morgan Schwab.
Big old spiral wally pop.
I mean, you're fucking kid. I was about to
Awesome.
say that.
Awesome.
You remember that, but you also remember being on a boardwalk. And I'm gonna go ahead and just say that this is a self-insert because I remember this being a child on the boardwalk.
Okay.
Wait,
Orange and-
your parents dressed you in that?
No, not
okay.
that. Not that bit.
I
No,
knew you
'cause
liked
I need
Popeye,
that
but I didn't know you
image now.
dressed like
Not that bit, but sure, why not? Go ahead and put that image in there. Just a
I can't undo it. I just see your face on a little, it's like Life with Louie, where it's just
Yeah.
your adult head on a little child's body.
I love this image. It's fine. I like that. But I am going to go ahead and make a nice little nod to something I had as a kid that I loved to tears. Morgan, you remember that there was an orange and vanilla swirled ice cream that was made in this one specific pier.
Okay, I do fucking love that. Like the dreamsicle flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dude, Cole's in New Jersey, the fucking best flavors of that. It's fucking awesome. They make it just there.
Never been. I do love
It's in
me.
Point Pleasant, New Jersey. For anyone who knows about that.
I do love me an orange cream soda though. It's really good.
So you remember that ice cream, an orange cream ice cream.
Well, if it's summer, we do have oranges. I remember as a child.
You do have a box of spices too.
Got a box of spices. Do we have any cream or butter
And salt.
and way to cool it down?
I was gonna do an investigation. Got nat 20.
Oh,
Do I find any
A whole cow.
any cream, milk, or cows?
Probably not the best.
I'm gonna
for
roll
ship
something.
faring.
I'm gonna roll something real quick because I was gonna say to you guys, like, over the course of the next 3 days, it would be you investigating to find stuff like
gotcha.
that.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like I'd rather have you.
We're
hold on to
going.
that.
We're going late into the night. First night.
Yeah. For right now, I'll say you could hold off to that for the
Sure.
next one. But you guys have a couple of days to keep investigating while you come up with this idea. There are some spices. Maybe there's vanilla in there. You haven't like really looked at it. There might be some more of these ingredients in there. But if you really want to go with this appeasement idea, you might have the capability to do so. It just takes rummaging through the ship. So this would be
Right,
your task
right.
for the next 3 days.
All right.
I mean, it is summer. It might not be a bad idea if we try and replicate this childhood delight.
I mean, just anything sweet. I mean, if we have to, we can just go with the candied oranges or something. Just
Oh yeah.
any little thing might
Let me
help
double
here.
check something for Valtara because I think she actually has a ice ability in one of her spells.
Yeah, because I was gonna say the closest I might have is my elemental attunement, which allows me to cool things down, but I don't think it allows me. Actually, no, I can turn water into ice, like a 1 cube block of water. But I'm not sure if that's like if I can use that in like alchemizing
Yeah.
food or anything.
If it helps, Morgan does know the cantrip Chill Touch.
That works.
Okay.
Yeah. And Valtara, unfortunately, only has a way to actually making things into liquid, so she could make vials, and you could possibly chill the vial to make like a liquid cooling drink.
So if we can at least condense the oranges down to their basic syrup, will probably be even better because that'll be even sweeter.
Man, for a guy who eats nothing but meat, he knows a lot about ice cream.
I just know a lot about cooking naturally. and
No,
I'm
no,
just-
I get that. I
it's
super
bleeding
get that.
through.
I know. I'm trying to hold it back too. I'm like,
Unless you
Wake's getting osmosis from Grammy. That's what I'm saying. He's
pretty
just like-
fucking much, yeah. There's Grammy like
Didn't
off
know
of
the wedding
off of the
band gave
window.
you +10 to cooking checks.
So what are you? So what?
children are learning.
So what are you doing here?
I'm extracting the ichor.
Ah.
So that's what it is.
So if we extract the orange ichor, it'll be better.
yeah, let's call it that.
Zest.
All right, so the appeasement idea is pretty good. Valtara is actually really super into that idea, especially if it's something like you're just wanting to give to a creature that is into this sort of thing. She doesn't know anything about the Fae. Fae are non-existent in Dragon, so she will not have any idea. She's going to follow your lead on this. She can use whatever knowledge and magic she has to assist you in this idea, but... And Meetcha, unfortunately, your doctor would have been the best bet, and she's driving the ship.
Well, can't win them all.
Unless you want to break her out of her spell and tell her to
That
do
sounds
something.
like a bad idea.
Chromagill would be strongly against this.
All right, so we are now on day 2. You're still out in open waters at this point. You are actually seeing a red kind of overcast over the sky, saying that you are actually nearing the outskirts of what used to be Eberkal.
Chromagill, you seem to know a lot more about plants than I would. Would you be able to figure out which one of these are, vanilla?
He like kind of points at the bags of spices.
Would like a nature check possibly?
Yeah, let's go with a nature
Nature
check.
check, sure. Let's go. This might not be great. 6.
No! So you fucking headbutts his face into the box.
All right, we'll try that later.
I can't seem to recognize any of these as vanilla.
You don't, like, vanilla is a concept you've never even heard of before. Like, remember, these are all man-made concoction names for ingredients that you remember in their plant basic form, but not as an actual spice. The most you could probably see in here, you see jalapeno leaves.
These would be, well, certainly spicy, but perhaps not the kind we're looking for. Don't avoid putting them in your mouth.
So I will say this. So how I'm basically going to be flavoring this is that every day you're going to be allotted one investigation check on whichever deck you wish to go on, and then you combine all the stuff you actually find, and then you can try at the night to try and see what you can make out of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Spend our days together.
So let's keep going around then. So where would you like to investigate?
Day 2, he would Wake would go back down to where all the Fine Day Boardwalk equipment was and try to see what he can scrounge up through there, because obviously them being a carnival group, they might have some sort of confectionery machines or something that they might need shipping.
Okay, roll a investigation check.
What are you? Oh, 16 minus 1, 15.
15? All right. You don't find any confectionery machinery or any materials like you would have seen over at the carnival from the last time you saw it. However, if you're looking for confection, you do find that there's a box of luxury wine.
Oh.
A lot of red wine.
Wake's wearing a clown nose now out of the Fine Day Boardwalk Company get-ups, and he just kind of brings up a few crates of wine.
Very old, too, based on what you can't really read it. You can't read what the make is, but however, when you do you want to crack open one and like take a taste?
Yeah, I'll bring it back up to our galley little kitchen area. I'll pop one open if I have enough, and I'll give it a little sample.
Okay. Roll me a con save with advantage.
Oh boy. Con
Getting
save
drunk
for
off a
a
sip.
sip of wine. Well, good thing for advantage. Con save, that is a 16.
16? Very refreshing. It's almost impossible for you to stop taking the first chug.
Oh my god, it's really good. Oh.
You actually had to like force yourself to not gulp down the entire thing altogether. It was the best tasting wine you ever had in your life.
We're talking like, I'm guessing a very wet palate, sweet.
Yep.
Okay. It's a dessert wine.
So with that,
A port.
you don't know what the actual make is of it, but you can tell like based on you trying to actually stop yourself, whatever is in this wine is actually alchemized to have something in it to make it a sweetener and very addictive.
All right, so very sweet wine.
Sounds helpful for what we need.
Chromagill.
Chromagill, rather than look for new things, the crate with the different spices, he is just going to basically spend his time flavor testing these and figuring out
Okay.
which ones
Sorting
are which.
through them,
Yeah.
what's savory, what's sweet, what's...
So I'm gonna say that's a survival.
A survival? You got it.
All right. Looking for cinnamon, looking for vanilla,
14.
star anise,
Let me look at one thing because I actually forgot to print something out. But
allspice berries.
Oops, all berries.
okay. Parsley, ginger, nutmeg,
Ginger and nutmeg, keeping those.
garlic, tarragon, mint,
Keeping that.
chives, and celery salt. That is what you get out of this whole entire concoction so far.
All right.
I'm keeping the celery salt as well.
Chromagill presents those to the crew and is just like, here's what we have. I've decided that, kind of like sets some of the ginger and mint and stuff like that to the side. These seem to be closer to what we're looking for, but I don't exactly have the physiology to confirm. I've just detected that they are similar to these sweet things we've identified. So,
Remember, there is a second box.
well, since he has gone through those, he just has these kind of set up and is just like, I believe these will be to your liking, and kind of sets the garlic to the side and is just, this, I'm not sure why humans have this. This seems unpleasant.
Stops your heart.
Pungent.
Good for fighting vampires.
Yeah, Wake would. It's great for vampires.
Oh! Perhaps we shouldn't keep it with the food and instead weaponize it.
I like the way you think.
All right.
You're now a character in his fanfics.
Gonna combine that smoke wand and the garlic, and he's just dumping garlic essence out of his cap when he
Oh
walks.
God.
It's too bad you gave it away.
Hello. Welcome to Chromagill Pizza.
Garlic mushroom.
Ugh. So, so first floor we already kind of looked through. Where was the find a boardwalk?
Second floor.
I thought it was like the bottom deck.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh,
Bottom
okay.
deck.
Second floor's
Going
on the
down.
bottom.
Sorry.
Okay.
Basement 2.
So we haven't checked B1,
I'll do that.
which I think is the place
B1.
that we were staying.
The
I
absolute.
thought B1 was where the...
No, we're on like the first deck, and then the second
okay.
deck
Yeah.
is the top deck, basically.
Yeah, and then the bottom deck is the third deck.
Gotcha.
And,
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go search the bottom deck since no one's looked there yet.
Okay.
So.
Investigation.
Damn, that's a 2.
All of our low rolls on these investigations. Yay.
You find a lot of costumes, a lot of outfits that don't really fit you, kind of more for smaller folk like halflings or kobolds or whatnot. A lot of clown outfits, and it looks like it's some kind of stage play to set place in a fictional fantasy setting, sort of like with a king and a queen, like stuff that would be romanticized in books.
Well, shoot.
For some reason, that is a fixation that you have for the rest of the day, and that's what you find more than you find anything else that's more useful. You're just really invested in this play, whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. You even find a costume for someone to dress up like a dragon.
Huh.
It's a green dragon.
Just that's neat.
Let me roll for Valtara. If I not roll on the side, that'd be great. Roll again. Nat 20 for Valtara.
Hey.
She will check the first floor once more. She's not too sure like what would be great for cooking, but she does find more plant life. She starts finding another box that contains a lot of citrus, lemons, grapefruits, the like. So a box of citrus has been found. Apparently this was very well hidden, and it looks like it was some kind of stash that was hidden away from most of the crew.
All right. Lemons will be useful.
You are now on night 2. You all reconvene and show off what you have.
I got some really sweet wine down there. It's very addicting. No, not now.
I've been down that road, Wake. It's not worth it.
My master liked to drink.
Come on, Morgan, I want to taste.
Shut up.
His entire fighting style changed when he drank enough of it.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I sorted through the different flavor agents that the people have set aside. Again, as someone who does not consume things, still not entirely sure the purpose of them. However, it seems important to the task at hand, and these seem the closest to sugar. Presents the sweeter of the spices he had found.
Yeah, Wake goes up and smells them and sets aside the ones that I already have written down. Be it the ginger, nutmeg, mint, celery salt.
Okay, cool. Valtara says to you, while looking up through the top deck, I found this box hidden amongst everything else, a little bit more exotic flavors of citrus.
Wake goes through and just looks at them.
Good
They
work,
are in
Valtara.
They are in pristine condition, by the way.
All
They-
right.
These are like if anyone wants to take a bite out of any of these, go ahead. Like there are grapefruits, oranges, lemons, tangelos, stuff like that.
Chromagill takes one of the smaller fruits and just kind of like starts squishing it into his hands and flesh. It just
Your flesh, like
Probably be a lime.
yeah. Well, let's say he takes a tangelo then.
Okay.
sure.
So you take a tangelo and kind of squish it in there. Your entire body feels so rejuvenated, like just all of a sudden this upburst of cold liquid entering into your flesh just makes you have pep in your step.
Well, I'm not sure if it was sweet, but I definitely enjoyed this.
Refreshing.
Yeah,
just
it
keeps-
was very, very refreshing. These are 100% fresh, almost like You don't know how long these have been here, especially since you've been on a journey for quite some time, but these feel like these fruits were, like, just picked.
It's fascinating how fresh this fruit is, considering we've been on this ship for days now and have already had a long trip before this.
So far, we...
Valtara is going to, when you say that, Valtara is going to roll an Arcana check on the box. She like looks into it. She's gonna cast Mage Hand to kind of sift through the box. And she kind of like shivers and jolts and jumps back. Oh, there's something cold in there.
Really?
Wake kind of like digs through a little gently, moving towards the cold.
Investigation with advantage.
Aha. Ba-da-ba-da. Advantage I shall take. Yes, advantage I shall take. That's a 17.
You reach your hand in, you feel the source of the cold. It's not terribly cold, but it does feel like you just put your hand in a bag of ice. You grab something, it kind of morphs with your hand, and you take it up. It almost looks like some kind of weird, like, physical bubble that has an aura of coldness inside of it. It almost feels like a water balloon, a liquid water balloon, but it feels way colder than it is. This is where the source of cold is coming from.
All right.
So
Leave it back in there because it seems to be what's keeping everything fresh.
Yep.
But I will note
So
that
it
we
is
have
a
a
generating
ball of cold.
Yep, it is a generating a cold generation source.
Refrigerator ball.
Yep.
All right. So far, we have the makings for a delicious beverage. Nothing, or I mean, I guess we could still candy a bunch of these things and it would still be really good.
Yeah, unfortunately, all I could find was all this stuff. Just dumps all the costumes, including the dragon head on there. Looks like they were going to put on a show wherever this was going.
Well, I mean, at the very least, we have something very colorful to wear. Maybe they'll appreciate that.
There are a lot of miscellaneous flags in this box. A lot of flags pertaining to a lot of the major cities, like one's for South Zealous, one's for Jahal Cove, one's for Wright. So this is pretty much a lot of South Shore locations in this box.
All right.
If there's Chromagill, I need you to roll me an investigation check as you look at this box.
Allow me to rummage through.
Ooh.
That is a 18.
You see a red cap costume that fits people, fits moderate-sized people. So
Look at these fun garments. Kind of holds them up.
there are costumes that look like red cap mushrooms with little face holes.
When you said a red cap for a second, I'm like, oh boy, good thing Scrump's not here.
No, I meant red cap mushrooms.
Gotcha.
Huh.
Look, does it look too small to fit me?
It's way too small to fit you, but it does fit everyone else, and not Valtara.
But if you wore this, you could be like a fellow mushroom, and perhaps a fanciful mushroom friendship would appease this fey creature.
There is a small little name etched into the back of these into the back of the caps.
What's it say?
Phaenus and Phoenix.
Phaenus and Phoenix. That name sounds familiar. It's been a while.
I'm going to do a history check and see if I've heard these names.
Okay.
I've spoken with travelers who've wandered through my lands. Oh, but probably not about this. 4.
4. What jovial names.
Huh, what a silly name! It neither describes their look nor anything about them. Such fancy.
Anyone else want to roll anything about that? Or are we going to move on to night 3?
I'll take my history check on it. Wake's drawing a blank. He's had too much trauma.
Okay.
That's a 2.
I might get lucky. Why not? That's a 16.
Phaenus and Phoenix is the name of a traveling circus troupe of gnomes.
Oh yeah. It was a circus troupe, mostly gnomes though. Huh.
Yeah, so there are, like I said, you did find a lot of smaller costumes, but this is the weird outlier that these are the tall ones.
Yeah,
That's
That and the dragon. So anything that doesn't look like a person would wear these clothings, like if they're costumes that are supposed to be different animals or creatures, that's the large stuff. The basic humanoid stuff is all fit for a small person.
you know now that makes a lot of sense why the regular costumes are for smaller folk and the creatures in the non-fleshy kind are for larger folk like us.
Makes sense, I suppose.
Confusion of scale. How entertaining. Did I do that right? He just kind of like looks over at the.
Kaltar like nods at you, yes.
Oh,
Good work, Chromagil.
It's just a ball of sunshine.
I'm gonna roll one more thing to see if you actually find one more bit in here. Nope, with a nat 1, I'm not doing that, so never mind.
All right.
All right, that's night 2. On to night 3.
night terrors.
Day 3, Wake would essentially try to look around the upper deck where the more, affluent people were staying, thinking that they might have had a supply of more luxurious foods hidden up top away from everybody else.
Okay, investigation.
Looking essentially for eggs or creams or butters or something that we can whip together.
There is the chef's quarters.
Well, I'm guessing that's on the upper deck.
Yep.
Let's hope a 15 will get me there.
15. Way more modern stuff is up here. You find a bunch of cooking utensils, a lot of stuff ready to go. A lot of the stuff's not really powered because it's kind of running through a lot of the Vorpal magic that was running through the vents.
All I need to do is start a fire.
So you'll find cooking utensils here. You'll find an oven. You'll find like maybe at least 2 or 3 servings of a very nice, what would be a tavern meal that you could possibly cook here.
What would be the ingredients of said meal?
Probably like pork chops, some very soft pieces of bread, some like a bag of nuts, so like it just go along with the palate of whatever you're drinking. So like you're basically getting like at least a couple of rations of pub food.
All right, so no eggs, no cream or fats or anything?
If
Actually, I
there-
guess I could use the fats of the pork.
You could use the fats of the pork, but there are a couple of things, like maybe a couple of eggs, but not enough that's probably going to get you more than 2 or 3 servings. So maybe you could probably get like 1 breakfast meal out of this.
Okay, so I'm just gonna lean on the higher end and say we have 3 eggs since you.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
That's super fine. Like you have enough for 1 serving.
3 eggs. All right. Something's coming together at the very least.
Yeah.
Pig fat.
It'll be a little clusterfucky, but you could possibly squeeze through with what you're trying to
Might cobble something together.
do. You could cobble something, but it's not gonna be pretty.
Well, I have an idea.
I want you to roll me 1 more investigation check.
Sure thing. 9.
You could have swore you saw one of the little, like, trilobite-like things kind of, like, scuttering around in one of the pantries.
Pop open, start looking around.
There's a stick bug looking at you, but it looks like it's made of metal.
Hi.
It doesn't respond to you. It kind of just, like, moves back and forth, almost like trying to sway with the wind.
Handle animal. I'm gonna try to like reach for it. My handle animal check is a 15.
15. You go to reach for it. It doesn't get agitated when you put your finger near it. However, it moves its head. It looks like the tip of its head looks like the shape of a key. This thing feels like metal.
All right. Well, now that my hand is close enough to it, can I go for a acrobatics check to just kind of try to snatch it?
All right, roll it.
All right. Acrobatics being one of my better, that is a 18.
You don't really, like, have to force yourself around it. Like, you start grabbing at it and you realize it's not really doing anything. You just snatch it and pick it up.
Tink.
It is squirming now, like, in your hand, but
It's okay, I won't hurt you.
it doesn't respond. It literally just looks like a little walking stick made of metal with a key head.
What do you go to? Oh, man. I alert everybody to this as I've made my investigation. Just saying, like, hey, if you guys...
This will be at the Reconvenience tonight.
Oh, okay. Then I collect all the things that I have here. I guess I put this thing in a small bag and just kind of tie it up so it doesn't run away. And I start butchering the pork chops of their, like trying to get the fat off of them.
Okay. Roll a survival check.
Oh, damn. That's a 25.
You're able to squeeze out 3 pounds of fat.
Oh, damn. 3 pounds pig fat. More than enough.
Chromagil.
Replacement butter.
Chromagil will be going up into the kind of the richer area, and he's just going to be.
So you see Wake at this point.
Okay. Oh, all right. If I see you, that actually works out.
You see him
Got
turn
you.
into one corner, and he's going into the kitchen area. So you figure like that's gonna.
Okay,
be...
that's where he's searching.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if I don't see him with his little metal stick bug friend, then I won't launch into that plan yet. If that's the case, he'd be looking at the living quarters, and he'd be searching in drawers and mattresses to just find different to see if there's like candies or something. He's basically turning everyone's stuff over, seeing if he can find
Investigation
anything.
check.
Spectacularly bad, 2.
Literally flipping rooms.
Just
Yeah.
knocking shit over.
You just hear in the other side of the room a bunch of crashing and breaking.
So I imagine this is how it went down in the morning.
All right, we're gonna go upstairs. I'll check the chef's quarters. Chromagil, would you just go into everybody's room, just flip everything, see if we can find anything there?
Understood.
Roll an athletics check as you kind of just feel like breaking through a wall is a good idea.
With advantage with my new powers.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm gonna use that. That is 24.
So you kind of just like Homer Simpson your way from like the bushes into a wall.
Just walk straight through it. There's just a Chromagil hole.
There was between you were going through one wall and think you were going to go out the other side of where one of the other rooms was.
Mm-hmm.
You enter a secret little small compartment that's like a closet.
Kind of.
It's not big enough. Like from where you're standing, you try to bow through the wall, you stop. There's a little bit of space. Your cap is now kind of squished down in front of you, and you have probably you could probably hug the wall and pat on it. That's how much space you have.
Chromagil understands that this is a strange hidden place, and he wonders where the other side of it is. So he just kind of pushes through this wall in front of him to see where he ends up.
Roll an athletics check.
You got it. With advantage! And that's going to be 23.
All right, I need you to roll me a dex save.
You got it. 12.
I found him! You are looking right over the edge of the ship.
I think I found a... I made an exit!
There is a small lockbox that is about to fall off. Roll a acrobatics check.
God damn it. That's 2.
Yep, the box goes sailing into the water.
Oh! Something fell in the water. It might have been a box, but it's gone now.
Did it have a lock?
Looked like it. Could have been locked. Maybe. I apologize.
All right, Morgan.
Let me see.
Are you by a window?
I don't know, am I?
Where were you going to investigate?
Well, I was either going to go back to the first deck where we found a lot of the produce stuff, or I was actually going to go check the chef's quarters as well.
Okay.
The actual kitchen.
All right, so which do you want to do?
Let's do the kitchen.
All right, so now you're in there with Wake.
Okay.
I'm upstairs.
Yeah, he went upstairs too.
Oh, gotcha.
He's in the same place with you.
I don't know. I think Chromagil just busted through a wall.
Oh.
I found this
Investigation.
little guy here. He is he's like a little walking key.
Huh.
Box fell in the water.
Did it have a lock?
I think so.
Damn it!
Shit. Well, that's
Cheat! The cheat!
That's an 8.
An 8? Well, I rolled insanely low, so there's no reason why you can't find this.
Okay.
You start rummaging through all the equipment, like the stove and whatnot. It looks like they were trying to cook something inside of here. It looked like a bloaterfish.
Good luck.
There's something sticking out of the bloaterfish's mouth. You go to look into it.
Yes.
Roll a dexterity check.
Oh, shit.
Dexterity save.
He's gonna bite you. They don't die.
That's an 8.
Its mouth doesn't close. Whatever was inside of it actually bit at your hand and tried to drag it into the creature's mouth.
Ooh.
Hey, there's something in this bloater fish.
I feel like there's something. I mean,
What? Literally something trying to grab my finger from in its mouth.
Wait, grabs the bloater fish out of the oven.
It looks like a finger is kind of like scrying through the inside of its mouth hole.
Kind of tip the bloater fish down towards the stovetop. Just
A hand that sits up on its own fingers is now looking at you.
Scaffy? Impossible! Impossible! What? Can you wait? It can't communicate. Shit.
Yeah, I don't think that box is going. What a curious creature.
You know that hand?
I mean, maybe. I set my hand down. Do you remember me? Oh my god.
like he gave the thumbs up for those
Yeah,
listening.
he gave a thumbs up.
I'm telling you, write a book.
I mean, I have. They're just different. Nobody wants those. Yet. What do you...
Baltara should see this.
He looks to you and he goes, like taps his fingers on the table, holds a finger up, and he starts like pantomiming, like writing down.
I
think I have... Oh, I have cartographer's equipment. Yes,
Yeah.
I would have a parchment and paper. Or and quill.
He starts writing down. Explosion, fell into the
Right.
water.
Okay.
Tried to swim up.
Probably didn't work
Got
too well.
eaten by bloaterfish.
Gotcha.
Bloaterfish was caught.
Gotcha.
Kobold found me. Tried to
Kobold.
cook me.
Tried to cook you. What about everyone else?
He writes down, I don't know. I only saw when I woke up, I only saw myself in the water.
Right. I don't really
Under
have a-
hat most of the time.
Makes sense. That's where you'd be, right? All right. Well, I'm not just gonna leave you here.
I kind of like set him up on my shoulder. Oh, this feels weird.
He's all sticky and filled with honey and shit too. But there was honey.
There's honey in the bloater fish.
Yep.
Just take a cup.
Oh, that's probably not.
No,
very-
it kind of like throws up a small bottle. A bottle of honey.
What the fuck?
Writes down, tried to lather myself to get out. Kobold tried to force me in with the bottle.
So you took the bottle with you into the fish.
Bottle of honey.
Yep.
I know.
Barbaric.
I mean, I know the Fae love honey. I mean, it eats exclusively honey.
Morgan, you find some more silverware. Pretty much like a whole bunch of dining table silverware. Probably would cost you around like 300 silver if you were to sell any of this.
That's a decent price amount of silverware.
On top of anything else, was there anything in particular you were kind of looking for while you were here, apart from that?
I was kind of hoping to look for some... Thinking back to the actual cold storage thing that kept the produce fresh, I wanted to see if I can find like another crate that might have that, maybe bottles.
Roll an Arcana check.
Arcana check. God, please. That is a 16.
16? Huh. Okay. So you feel the magic swelling from the vents a little bit. So you're feeling like this is probably all kinds of Vorpal magic in there. However, if you get this little idea that there's a vent that leads into a crate, And if you were able to spark it with some kind of magic, it would actually create a force to either refrigerate or to heat. So you now have something that you could probably store up to 50 pounds of anything that could be either heated or cooled.
So I basically found what could equate to an oven or an ice box.
Perfect.
And it can store up to 50 pounds of anything.
It can store a lot in there. It could store a small child.
50 pounds is a decent child, really.
I mean, it depends, like, you know, the volume of the child, and are you, you know, you know what? No, I'm going very poor directions right now.
Let's have this discussion with Valtara, the woman who lost all of her children.
Well, no, I mean, this is the best time to have that conversation.
That's why I was like,
when she's not here.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's why Morgan shuddered.
But then I would love the idea that she actually looks at that when you all tell her this, and she just goes, my child wouldn't be able to fit in this.
Not mine.
All right, so you all reconvene. I'm going to roll something for Valtara.
This lockbox fell on my head. I was...
Valtara finds more of those costumes. Now they're starting to get bigger. Some of them actually look like they're more adorned for Harlequins, and she's finding more and more masks.
Well, maybe their crew had...
The most impressive mask that she finds, though, however, is a mask that has 3 faces kind of like merged into it. One on the right, one on the middle, and one on the left. And they all share the same expression, but they're all of pure joy.
Chromagil just looks at it. Do creatures with multiple faces, are they... Is that a thing?
There are Hydra.
I've never met one.
imagine like a snake with a lot of heads, but also have arms. Like, imagine a lizard with like a bunch of snake heads.
And every time you cut off one of its heads, and 2 more would grow in its place.
And let's just stick a torch in it.
It works kind of like this. Just pulls off a piece of his spongy flesh and it just kind of
Oh, they
falls
did
back.
surgery on a grape. The results will shock you.
It lives now.
Huh. Fascinating.
It's the inside of his finger. He peels it back like a banana peel.
And that's why I don't do that. Well, Chromagil just looks at the mask kind of confused and just sort of like backs away. Here I am with only eyes, and some creatures live with multiple faces. Such a wide world.
The sad Hulk music plays.
Looks wistfully out a window. I have much
And there's
to learn.
Grammy.
I have much to learn. Hey, you're one of the cooks. Just falls off.
What was that?
Never mind. You'd feel worse if you knew.
Thunder claps, and then she's gone.
Man, the weather is weird today.
All right, so you guys all reconvene and bring back what you find.
All right, Wake is ruminating on what can be done here. I'm gonna have to roll something to see how far because I have a plan of what I would make. I just need to know if Wake would be able to. I can fudge it that, like, you know, he spent time in Wright and there were several bakeries and stuff there.
I mean, it would just be a history check at that point.
Yeah.
You go ahead. Norm.
Yeah, so go ahead and get your plan going.
All right. Well, let's see if Wake would ever figure out what I'm planning. With a history check, you said?
Yeah.
All right, then that would be a 14.
What exactly are you trying to do?
Okay, so my Fae meal plan would be orange bread pudding with a honey glaze alongside basically a very bountiful, fruity sangria.
This was a really good stream for me to not eat before, by the way.
Okay, I'm gonna say with that kind of roll, you could get the basic idea of what that is, but with all the ingredients that you have right now and what you're trying to prepare with people who don't really have that much knowledge of it, you are not going to be able to investigate the ship one more time. You would have to spend the rest of the day cooking.
All right, well, that was basically the plan. Like, I'm working with what we have here. This is what I came up with.
As someone who's never really eaten things in a traditional sense, I'll take your word on it. However, the small metal creature you found, that makes me curious. Could you produce him again.
I open up the little bag that I have the walking key in.
I cast Animal Friendship on this guy. He needs to do a Wisdom check and otherwise
Wisdom
be charmed.
save?
Yeah, or a Wisdom save. Sorry,
Well, bugs don't have a lot of wisdom,
I figured.
so I rolled a 5. That makes it a natural 0.
Awesome. Well, he's my friend now.
Yeah.
Little creature, you seem to have a very unique head shape, and I was wondering if it matched something or if it was used to unlock anything. Would you know where that is?
The creature lets out a metallic screech, but it does. Yeah. But it does like wave itself up and down to try to convey that. What happened there?
I dropped my phone. Don't worry about it. Well, I have you. I need a pee.
All right, we'll be going on a break in a few minutes.
I need to finish writing out my recipes. We can throw that on the Discord later.
I mean, we technically could take a break here. Like that thing will say yes, but I mean, we can take a break
it
right
knows
here.
where-
But where is it? Find out after the break. Welcome back to the Table Wonders. All right, so I got my little meal plan here. It's probably going to be more of a task to create than it was to formulate. So what I have here is Wake's Fae meal plan, which is orange bread pudding, which involves the following ingredients: shredded loaves of the soft bread that we found, orange juice / zest, the egg yolks, sugar, and in place of cream, I'm going to be using some of the rendered pig fat to make kind of a makeshift custard. You soak the bread in that custard, bake until it's slightly gold, then you add a glaze of honey and some extra sugar, and bake until it's set.
Okay.
So that's the bread pudding, and we have an oven for that. Then we have, what do you do with the rest of the eggs, the egg whites? Well, you take those and you make some lemon meringues. You take the egg whites, add some sugar, a little bit of lemon juice and zest, basically whisk them until you get some peaks that are formed from the bubbles in the air, and then you just throw those on a sheet, bake those until they're little meringue cookies, or you can use the unbaked meringue as kind of like a topper, basically.
Okay, so I like that plan, Nick.
Uh-huh.
But now, how does Wake translate that?
You see, that's what you had me roll the history check for, and you said you could probably do that, but it's going to be difficult to make.
Okay.
And then to finish it all, to like wash down that, we have a very sweet sangria, which is the wine, and then you just chop up a bunch of oranges, limes, lemons, and some of that ginger. Dump it in there. Serve it chilled or over ice. Delicious.
I'll have to take your word on it.
Wake doesn't know either. And this is why anything that he's going to make, if he's going to be the one crafting this, it would be at disadvantage because he's a carnivore and cannot taste what he is making.
So now you.
So I've made the plan. Somebody else has got to put it together.
He has the plan.
So now you were talking to the small little metal stick figure.
Mm-hmm. And I charmed it to ask it if it knew what its head key shape unlocked, if it did anything, and if it could lead me there.
He can lead you to it. That would take you away from this conversation, though. But he can lead you to where the box is that he opens.
Okay. If that's the case, Chromagill's basically going to be like, well, I didn't find much, but perhaps your friend here could help us find something. I'll see where he leads me.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I figured we'd head off with him.
Oh, okay. So you guys head upstairs over to the mushroom-shaped hole in the wall.
Yeah. In the interim, while we're walking, Wake would explain what he's thinking,
Okay.
based on his knowledge of what. Oh God, poor. Oh God, who was the made the crepes? Frank Ocean. Poor Frank Ocean. What he used to do. Wake knew enough about his shop to know, like, these things work well together.
These were sweets. They
Yeah,
tasted
this-
good.
This works.
You head over to the first hole that you made. The creature crawls down from you and looks around. It can't find the box.
Oh, this is what I feared. Okay, so when I was searching earlier, I found this strange compartment. I believe I announced this to you, but just to reiterate, I think there was a box dangling from here as I burst in, and, well, I believe my movement may have tossed it into the ocean and it might be lost forever. I'm sorry, little bug friend. I hope your life doesn't exist purely to open this box. You may be purposeless now.
If we look down over the side of the ship, is there anything the box might have gotten caught on? Like, I remember that hanging from one side of the ship, there was like that metal mesh. I don't know if it's hanging on this side of the ship or not.
Let me roll a probability check.
Sure.
No.
Okay, it's gone.
It's
'Cause
gone.
We have sailed way too far for me to even conceivably dive down there and try to bring it back, and it is probably near the bottom of the ocean.
Well, I didn't want you diving in there on perhaps it being what was going to be unlocked, but now that we know, I wish I would have perhaps told you earlier. My apologies, Wake.
Oh, don't worry about it. Things get lost.
Morgan,
Something
did you
inside.
find anything helpful?
And some things get found. Looks over at Scaffy on his shoulder.
Your bug friend Thanos away.
Oh, I guess he had a proximity thing.
He turned into rust and melted away.
Oh, no.
Oh, get it off me! I hate metal in general, but rust is even worse! Oh, I'm sorry, friend. Oh.
It's like dead metal.
Oof. Necrotic metal.
Chronic metal, hell yeah.
It's like double everything Chromagill can't stand.
That's a new music genre.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, necro metal. God, that sounds like it's already a thing. I'd have to ask Kieran, though.
Probably is.
Morgan?
Well, I found this, and I gestured to the box that's connected to one of the arcane vents.
Yep.
So, from what I gathered, we can set this to either heat or cool. Again, like I said, like a makeshift oven or an ice box. And it can hold a lot.
You do have an oven, though, too, so...
Yeah.
But just know that it's filled with weird juices and shit from the fact that Scaffy and this decrepit bloaterfish corpse
So
is
it would
in
need
there.
some cleaning out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's an option.
All right. Well, since we got potentially two things here that need to be cooked, at least we have two spaces to do it.
I've never been one for cooking, considering it's never been necessary for me, but
Me neither. I normally eat it raw.
should you need my big hands, they're here to move things and perhaps imprecisely measure things, should that be how cooking works.
probably do-
Valtara probably, like, it's just like, I only know some cooking, not all the cooking in the world, so...
I mean, I can probably do some of the technical things that require, hand-eye coordination, but I won't know how it tastes. Is my problem. So somebody else is going to have to taste this as we're going. And figure out what we need to add.
Morgan, does your dead human tongue still work? I just figure if anyone could be a taste tester, it might be you, but if you only have the taste of ash and death on your mouth at all times, I suppose that might not really help.
Or Voltara.
Oh yes, Voltara, you have a functioning tongue.
Yes, Crobagill, I do.
And yes, mine works.
Oh, well good. We can have two opinions then. Hope you agree. Because there will be no one to, split that vote.
Okay, so with that, you guys can attempt to spend the day in garnering some kind of sweet.
In the food rendering
with-
wing of the ship.
With all of the materials you have right now, you probably have enough materials to cook at least twice and get away with one mistake. So if you botch one
If we
set
botch
of cooking,
our first batch.
you botch your first batch or your second batch, you still have one more chance.
All right.
So what exactly are we going to go for here? What is the core thing we want to go for as the main suite?
The thing that we need to have the most chances at, so the thing I'd recommend we start with would probably be the bread pudding, because that's also something that can be stored for a very long while. Mm-hmm. And just reheated upon presentation.
Okay.
When I think of pudding, I think of something that is kind of a not quite liquid, but a softer consistency, and perhaps after, a routine pounding of this bread, perhaps I can help with that. That may be the only thing I'm really helpful here.
I think we're gonna need to shred it more than pound it.
Well, then
However-
you're the expert. Just kind of puts his big fleshy hands back again.
We are going to need juice from the oranges, and that would require pounding.
Oh, well,
Or crushing.
I would love to give those oranges a good pounding.
All right, what do you want to do, Morgan? How are you going to assist this?
I'm trying to assume since he was in the military, that like some basics.
You
of
have basic cooking.
Basic cooking. So, I mean, at least technical wise, like peeling produce and vegetables.
You can tell the difference between golden brown and burnt.
I guess Morgan would more or less be assisting with slicing the bread, maybe peeling the produce that doesn't need to be juiced.
I mean, we do need zest, and that is the skin.
Yeah, and obviously keeping an eye on it when it's baking and setting. So at least the basics of baking, I would assume.
I need everyone to roll me a survival check.
Everybody's working for survival.
Ooh,
23 for Wake.
24.
Ooh, Chromagel knows what he's doing.
And a 15.
And a 16 for Valtara. All right, now I need everyone to roll me a history check.
It's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake. If the way is hazy. 5.
Nat 20.
Ooh.
15.
Valtara gets a 27.
I think I found my good dice this week.
Everybody pick up Wake's slack.
Okay.
Hey, you came up with the recipe. We'll handle the rest. Uppy.
So you pretty much regaled to everyone how this is supposed to look, and everyone try to like gathers as much like forethought out of what you
The most
explained to them.
blind leading the blind. A fishman who doesn't eat anything other than meat is like, so here's what cake is like, I'm pretty sure.
I think. I mean, I like it when there's fish heads in it, but normally everybody else always throws up.
And a mushroom, dinosaur, and dead man are left in the kitchen going, all right, well.
And the cat's driving the boat.
It's like a bar joke.
Hell yeah. So even with Wake kind of just like dissipating into like, and this is how this goes, and this is how this goes, and this is how this goes.
And it just sort of like happens when you put those things together, and then it gets yummified when it's hot.
All right, so you pretty much like even with all that incoherent babble, you are all able to muster together like the basic setup for this dish.
Yeah, like that. Man, I'm good at talking.
So you have your pudding at the ready. Now you just need to cook it.
All right, so the bread is soaking in the custard.
And we just need to either clean out this oven or use the one that's already clean.
What would cleaning that oven entail? Is that like a survival?
You would need a bar of soap.
Or a lot of fire.
I know Ezra traveled with soap, but not Chromagel.
Wake always smells like fish, so there's no getting rid of that.
Can I ask a question?
What?
Does the box connected to the arcane vent have some kind of valve, or is it just like can
Roll
a
an
nat-
investigation check.
Okay. A nat 20.
Wow.
Yo.
It has a valve system, yes.
Okay. Now, since arcane energy is involved, is there a way that I can use an arcana check to kind of gauge and eyeball the temperature by eyeballing it?
I'm just gonna say here that since it's an oven, it's probably gonna only, based on what you fucking see here, it's probably only gonna cook like maybe 250, 350,
Okay.
and that's with full power.
All right.
Let's hope for 350 then, because I'm pretty sure that's the bog minimum for baking.
Yep.
Well, I think if we crank this little trooper to full, it might get the job done.
But that would also mean you have to initiate the spark within the vent.
That too.
Failing that, if we do have a, like you said, there were like cooking apparati and
Yes.
Things like that in here. If we just had like some sort of like cast iron thing with a lid on it, maybe that in itself just hanging over a fire would do the job.
If you want to look around and roll an investigation check, you can do so to see if there's anything that would fit that description.
I'm looking for a Dutch oven, essentially.
Yep.
Anybody else care to assist me?
I'll give a hand.
Wake is
Beltara can't
I've-
find shit.
I was gonna look for
Wake
cleaning agents.
Wake
but-
got a 3.
I got a 12.
Hey, Nat 1. Chromagill's not helping. Chromagill is actively messing up the area you're searching and making it more difficult.
Bang, bang.
closest thing
kick
to
the
a-
one thing we did find overboard.
The closest thing to a Dutch oven is going to be that box that has the flipper between freezing and heating.
That's about as good as it's gonna get.
All right, well, we're just going to have to go with that then.
Yep.
Okay.
How about it, Morgan?
Well, ignite the spark then. You gotta open the box and set the fire going.
I can do that. I have elemental attunement. I can do anything that involves, like, lighting a campfire or a candle, basically just with my finger.
Right. I need you to roll me a Arcana check though, real quick.
Okie dokie. Come on, stupid fuck. Nat 20! All right. Yeah, that's very
missing
nice.
Oh no, magic gas has
Prob-
been leaking out of his oven all day.
Probability dice.
Of how awesome I am.
I mean, you perfectly lit that fire. That doesn't mean
Oh
it's
no,
going to
I was gonna
perfectly
lit the
bake.
fire, but I also had to roll the probability to see what the temperature would be.
Okay.
The temperature sparks at 170. You watch as a small little valve kind of like shows you the temperature gauge. It just tips at 200.
What happens when we close the thing? I'm assuming that at least by letting it induct, it'll warm up a bit more.
Yes, but that will take some time.
All right, oven's preheating.
So you're gonna allow it to preheat. I'm gonna roll how many hours that takes.
Oh my god, what a shit.
It's like we're
It's,
cooking.
you're in a shitty.
If it starts taking too long, Wake would just start breaking off pieces of wood to fuel it.
It takes 5 hours to add another 170.
Well, that gets it up to
340?
340.
Yep, 340. It is now at 340.
I'll have to do.
Just maybe cook it a little longer.
I mean, I guess.
Perhaps the Fae won't be particularly picky. Maybe
Alright.
it likes more cool
I mean, if
baked
it's
goods.
if it's moist, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
God, knowing our luck, we're gonna meet the Fae equivalent of Gordon fucking Ramsay.
Well, just
Oh god, it's fucking raw. Yes, chef. What do you mean, yes, chef?
Yeah.
No, chef. What the fuck do you mean?
what are you? I'm an idiot sandwich.
Okay, so you stick the dish inside.
Yep, and then
How many
As-
hours would you like to wait?
at 340, it shouldn't take more than a half hour by my human knowledge, but
Roll a survival check with advantage.
first one was better, 19.
19. You wait for that long. It comes out fairly decent. It's solid. It's solid enough and moist enough that it doesn't look like it's like not undercooked or not overprepared.
All right, then you just drizzle a bit of honey and sprinkle some more sugar on it. Should be fine. Hopefully.
All right. You have your dish.
All right. Find a place to keep it warm later, but now, basically, while that was cooking, I guess we'd start work on the lemon meringues, which is
Okay.
using the leftover egg whites to basically use those, some sugar, some lemon juice / zest, and beat those until they are essentially basically egg white, kind of like it's like an egg white whipped cream sort of thing. So you
So-
dollop those on a sheet and try to bake those into
So
tiny
I need
cookies.
everyone to roll me once more a survival and then a history.
Survival. 7 or 18
Okay.
and
Well, hold on. Let's get everyone
Yeah,
else's
sorry.
survival real quick.
So 16 for me.
Okay.
My survival was a 7.
And Valtara's was a 10. So Morgan and Wake pick up the slack on that.
Okay.
Now history.
history is a 14 for me.
My history was a 19.
Yeah, mine was a 5.
Valtara's a 19. So what was yours again?
19.
19. So a little lacking in understanding on how like the true preparation of it is for Morgan, but everyone else kind of picks that up.
Yeah, basically just do this.
Yeah, you pretty much are at the mercy of guesswork, but so far your guesswork is tried and true at this
And
point.
there's these like little tiny air bubbles in there that are holding it up, and then it's gonna be like kaplap.
Throws it like basically like little dollops on a sheet.
What does
Okay.
it mean by air bubbles?
The oven is still going strong for 370.
All right, cool. That'll be perfect for this for another like probably 15, 20 minutes.
Roll survival.
22.
22. You get it out just right. It's exactly how you pictured it was supposed to be.
Oh, look at that, like gold on top. Tick, tick. Nice and crispy.
All right, let me roll real quick to see how long that took for you guys, hour-wise.
Well, the last piece is easy enough to make.
Yeah. Like, that was fine to make, but, like, over the time, again, you were guessworking the entire time.
Yeah, we're doing
2
this,
hours.
Yeah, relatively overnight.
So, yeah, you're pretty much now at the course of it being, I'm going to say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay. I'm going to say it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon at this point. You have completely finished everything you're doing.
All right.
And this is night 4.
All right, and the sangria is super easy as fuck. You just find basically a pitcher or anything that will hold the beverage, and you dice up a bunch of fruits, drop it in there, and fucking dump wine in that shit. Then you just let it get to know each other, and then it's fine.
Let it sit.
So whoever would like to take who would like to do that themselves, roll a survival check. Any one of you.
I was gonna say it, but then I was like, I just smash all the fruit.
I'm pretty good at survival. It's like one of the things I'm. That is a 21.
21.
Slicey, slice, slice, slice.
You do it competently and with a lot of confidence. So
Throw it in there. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm gonna roll to see how many liters of the stuff you make.
I use 2 bottles. It should be fine, I hope.
Well, all right. You did get 2 bottles. Both full.
All right.
2 bottles of Wake's Special Sangria.
And with that, you return. You return down to the galley to have a meal or discuss what you're going to do going forward.
All right.
All right. Well, this is gonna be our best bargaining chip, I think, if it likes sweet things.
Should things not work out and this thing launches into attack, I guess we just have to deal with that when we come to it. But
Pretty much.
Actually, you know what? History check. How much dealings with Fae do I really have? I lived in a forest for a long ass time. They had to have been coming by somewhere. 14 on a history check.
14. You know the innings and outgoings of Fae to a degree that you know how to live in harmony with them in a wood. But considering that you're going to be going into somewhere where there's a ship graveyard and ships are not your forte, you're not too well versed into the idea of how this Fae would work, but you know that they are chaotic creatures and are very easily swaying to emotion.
Perhaps we can just appeal to them, you know, from a perspective of our feelings. That, from what I remember, Fae are much more attuned with the spirit and the emotions of creatures. So
That works for me, and frankly, this is where my expertise will drop off, because I'm not very good at people.
well, I'm a big talking mushroom. My experience with people has been pretty limited, but I feel pretty jovial in the ability to hold a conversation.
Morgan, you got 3 people inside of you. Are you good with people?
His eye twitches and he just grabs a necrostar. I'll do the talking.
Hooray!
Just big meaty claps.
That's the thing I'm bad at.
Everyone roll a dexterity save as the ship begins to tilt.
10.
Valtara is somewhat incredibly nimble considering that she's a giant triceratops lady.
10 as well.
18 for Wake.
10 and 10?
Yeah.
All right, you both of you roll off to the side and land on top of a couple of boxes. The ship is turning like erratically turning.
Wake just body tilts as if he's on like a gyroscope.
I should probably go check on that.
You go upstairs. There's Meetcha just like puffed up in a ball, like in a floof of fur. How do I do this? She's back.
Oh fuck.
I'm going to go man the helm, as that is something that Wake is actually
Survival with advantage.
attuned to. Gonna take that advantage. Or maybe not. 15.
15. You grab the wheel. Like you could have told that like the wheel was turning too far when she returned back, and she didn't know how to pull it back the other way. So you grab the helm, kind of turn it, make it steady.
1, 2, 3. Boing.
And the ship is now back on its basic bow. It's now straight, and it's still going forward. But Meetcha's just like sitting there, just like, okay, that felt like I have bed sores, and I don't understand how that happened. I was standing up the whole time.
Good to have you back, Meetcha. How was
Nice to be back. Do you know what it's like to be engulfed by a giant jellyfish for 4 days? Because that's what happened!
Chromagil holds up a plate of 4-day-old sashimi.
Up!
Wake made this for you.
It was better before. I thought it would feed you.
I need food.
I know what it was. I've lived in a clam for a few days, but that's about it.
I please have food. I'm actually. I'm
Oh, we baked the most delectable thing.
I hand her basically a pound of dried fish.
She like fucking Pac-Man inhales it. Okay.
That was 2 days worth of rations.
Okay.
To be fair, she hasn't eaten in 4.
My body. I'm getting motor skills back. I know that much. A very strange experience to the fact that like I felt like I've been sleeping standing up for a couple of days. So, what have I missed?
Well, we baked some delicious treats that hopefully the Fae creature in the ship graveyard will enjoy.
Well, that's nice, I suppose. It sounds like you have some kind of understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, I mean all the Fae that I know have really enjoyed sweet things, and they enjoy things based on the season. So I thought we'd make a cacophony of summer and fall based things, as those are the seasons we are between.
Very well. I don't want to go to sleep, but I also feel like I need to sit down. She like kind of like grabs onto the ledge of the wall and kind of like hobbles herself like towards somewhere to sit. What happened to this room? She looks over at the giant mushroom-sized hole in the wall.
Oh, I found a new place and subsequently dropped a lockbox into the ocean. I really hope it wasn't important.
As long as it wasn't my belongings. She sits on the bed.
Did you have a box that opened with a magic bug key?
A what?
Didn't think so. Don't worry about it.
Both of them are gone now.
Well, at this point, you now understand that because the Yith have released their control over Meetcha, you are now near land in some regard.
All right. I look off to the left and right, and I'm guessing one of those correct directions is right.
The entire front of the ship that you are looking at in each direction, when you look far to the left, like 90 degrees to the left, you are seeing a little bit more mist, kind of like off in the distance. You look more to the right, 90 degrees, and there's more mist going forward. It almost looks like there's a giant, like, black outline that completely covers the front of the entire ship, but that's going to have to be needed with a perception check to figure out what's going on here.
Sure.
17.
You are under shade. It is a natural eclipse. There is a flat wall that is right in front of you.
Turning away from that real quick as not to crash.
Yep. You don't crash the ship. You see that there's a lot
Yay!
of...
Good call.
You are now facing what appears to be north at this point. You stop the ship. You kind of, like, drop the anchor and, like, figure out what's going on here. You get your bearings. The sun is coming up over this thing. It is a natural forming mountainside that there is a flat slope that leads up, and this stretches outwards all the way over towards the north. And it also goes back towards the south. You are near the archipelago of Avast.
All right, well.
I consult the map that I have, and my Wanderer passive ability actually makes sure that I know relatively where I am on that map.
The sea chart, from what you're reading, and based on the location that you're at, from what you're understanding is that the Yith were able to get you into a mid-ground area. So probably half a day's travel will take you up to Gulliver, which is the dwarven city. Or below you, it's a half day's travel towards where the ship graveyard is. And where you are is actually the location, or the plausible location of where that underwater tunnel leads into the Underdark.
All right. Well, to the south it is. I believe that's what we've been preparing for.
And that's where we'll end tonight.
All right. Full sails and crit fails. We'll be back next week, but before we go, I believe we have some fan art to look at.
We do. Start at 1, I believe.
Well, once we get over to the fan art, Chunky. He's doing his yoga
Keeping you
over
on
there.
your toes.
Number 1. Ooh, I love the design on that axe. Who did this?
Let me get it up for you.
Absolutely.
This is from Mr. Camden Chase.
To X or not to X?
That looks great. I love that.
That's
I also love his like weird bulbousy like
Yeah.
muscles.
I like. It's like a simple thing, but I feel like this puts a little bit of a hunch in Chromagill's back, sort of like it kind of gives him like kind of more back there,
Like that mushroom stumps out a bit more.
and I really like that. Like I like him kind of just having sort of like this bulkier but thinner head kind of look.
Oh, you okay there?
Yeah, my leg just got hooked around the cord and I wanted to
Nice.
sit a little better. Sorry for everybody that had to hear that.
No problem.
Also, the axe looks dope as hell.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I love that. I'm trying
It's
to
more
remember.
wood than metal. How does this work?
It's definitely an executioner's axe. Like I love that design.
Can't
Yeah.
wait
It
to.
looks Dark Soulsy.
I made the note on my character sheet about how I have to do an athletics check, passing a DC 15 to swing it properly. I can't wait to pull this in the battle and just be like, all right, here goes.
I love how it has enough of a curve to actually potentially disarm an opponent. Just
Yep.
latch a hilt onto that and just pull away.
Looks
Hell
good.
yeah.
Very nice work.
Also, his great thinking face.
That is a very good
Or the
expression.
smolder.
He's stuck like that for 6 hours now.
He's
then-
flirting with this axe.
All right, thank you kindly. What we got next?
Next up, from Bangarangalico,
That's a good one.
Pavs Ravi holding up Wake.
I meant breathe on me. I wanted to try to dodge the lightning and laugh at you more. This isn't right.
This did not go as planned.
I've
man.
upset the god of thunder.
I forgot that you had like the raptor
my,
boots.
my raptor
Yep.
boots.
I
Yeah.
completely
I made
forgot
those.
about
I
those.
made those
yeah.
after I lost my first boots in the ocean.
I remember now. Still looking good. Still rocking them.
Hell yeah!
Awesome. Well, thank
I
you
even got
very
my little
much.
tiger pelt kilt there.
Yeah.
I kind of love that he has a bowl cut. Pabs Robbie.
Oh, Pavs Ravi has a bowl cut? Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
the
yeah.
most basic teen boy, and I'm going to lift you
I
aloft.
mean, how else would Woe cut his hair? I mean, she's blind. She's like, okay, good. That'll do. That's a handsome boy. Put on your sailor suit and dickies.
Put on the suit! You're a naval boy now.
The angst is real.
The angst is super real. He's a teenager.
He still smells like raptor sex bomb.
Next up, from
Hey, Cleva.
Fridaz Z. Richard. This is Cleva Carsonon.
Hell yeah.
Scary axe.
Very executionary.
Behold, I have a big axe too.
I am the sovereign of axes.
Her face makes her look like she's sad to be executing in a way, but
But
not
she
totally
but deep
against it.
inside, she loves it. She just can't wait.
It's
She
a necessary
just doesn't want to
job.
show it to the common folk.
Yeah.
You got to enjoy your job.
Oh yeah, she super enjoys her job.
Dirty work, but someone's got to do it.
And another one from the same artist. We got some Sahagins of the Dead Shrimp Gang.
Oh,
That's awesome.
the guys who we got the ship from, basically, or kind of took it from under their noses.
I love that we've met two groups of Sahagin. One that were literally prisoners in a zoo, and then another one that just runs a mafia.
Yep.
I forgot about the zoo Sahagins.
Yeah, they ate the hyenas.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Hey man, a lot of shit happened in the last 2 months.
Sahagins became cognizant.
Yep.
No,
They
maybe
got
we
the
should-
right to vote.
Man. Alrighty, well
Decided
thank
to
you.
give them companies.
Thank you so much. Next up, from Ziga Exeron.
The hell is that?
Shut up, I'm trying to concentrate.
Doodle wake.
What have you done? What are you? I'm the real Wake.
You're pointing at me right now.
I'm pointing. You started pointing at. No, you did. No.
Which one's the real wake?
I can't
Isn't it
believe
obvious
this is
both of them?
working.
I think the fake Wake started pointing first.
God damn.
Bring me pictures of Wake.
How can he look? He can only look upwards.
No.
Yeah, fucking fake Wake has to have his side to you so you can see you with his eye that only points in one direction.
He always has to face either left or right to
And if
actually
he
do
is
anything.
facing that way, he's two-dimensional, and you'll never see him coming.
Yeah, he's a line.
Now that's an idea for a custom race.
Fuck yeah.
Advantage on stealth when they are standing in a perpendicular direction.
See, you say that, but in Mutants and Masterminds, they had something that was exactly like that.
Yeah, they can make like two-dimensional, like they had like a two-dimensional man or something like that.
You'd think the Scriptori could do that too.
Oh,
since
fuck,
it-
that's right.
Since they're just made of fucking paper.
It's a race of people that are just made of magic paper, like mummies.
It's just sentient scripts and tomes. That's all they are.
That's bizarre.
All right, thank you
That's
so much.
D&D.
Next
Is
up.
this Gita? Or who was that? Was that
Oh, no, that was Ziga Exeron.
Ziga?
Ziga Exeron.
Yo.
The next three we got going on here is from
Lasame.
Samuel Manthe? Manthe, sorry. Not sure if I got
trilogy.
that right, but here we go. We got Kaleidoscope Wake, Kaleidoscope Chromagill, and Kaleidoscope Morgan.
Look at that.
Woo.
It's like mosaic, I think is the word I would use.
Yes,
Yes.
Mosaic. I apologize. Well, I mean, we could...
It's fine just to cycle them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's focus on the Chromagill here for a sec.
Look at
Yeah,
me.
look at those fancy gills.
I love it. Yeah, his chromatic gills are very nicely represented here in this style.
Oh yeah.
Very nicely mirrored too. I like it.
I like
The symmetry.
this. Okay, I know this isn't the actual shape of what his root is for his neck, but I like this hourglass shape, like
It looks cool.
Like
thing
he's
going on for him.
undulating a little.
Yeah. This is him taking in pain.
Well, he's got like this kind of like
Or
thinner
shrugging.
head part and then cap, and then just everything out from there kind of expands. It's like here would be shoulders, I guess, maybe, and then the rest of it's kind of like a torso.
It's like when the chunk of lava lamp is like just about to separate and float
Yeah.
to the top.
Yep.
Oh god. A
Man.
mushroom version of the thing.
Oh yeah.
I love it. Thank you, Lasame. Yeah.
And there's Morgan. I like this one the most.
The things I've seen.
There's just that look of horror on his face.
I like his nose.
Do you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of a character from China, Illinois.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Oh, man, he's
I
the
could see
one
that.
brother.
the brother, yeah.
It's Stephen Frank. It's Frank.
Yes.
I don't
Holy
know their
shit, it's
names,
Frank!
but yeah.
I barely watched any of it, but I know what you're talking about.
The only thing I got out of it is I can do baby cakes. That's it. That's the only impression I can do out of that show.
Baby cakes.
Some say life is hard, and then I say you just got a bite out of it out of a piece of gummy.
Oh yeah.
Boopy eyes too.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you so much.
What we got next?
Next up,
Ah, speaking
yeah,
of
I've
spoopy
been-
eyes.
from Salmonat. So I'm behind on TFS at the table, and I got up to painting Dagon, so I caught up to a certain episode to show it now.
This is all in spray paint, by the way.
Yes.
And he
Oh,
claims
wow.
it takes him a half hour to do these.
What?
Yeah, right. Yeah, have you seen those? Like, if
The
you've ever
videos?
gone through like Facebook or something like that, have you ever seen like those speed spray painting things that like?
I
through,
played
like,
that one
galaxies and
Infamous that
stuff.
you could do graffiti stuff and learn how stencils work.
Yeah, this
So
is
sort of.
This stuff is sick.
Fucking bonkers.
If you check out this guy's like main page on Twitter, he's been doing a whole bunch of stuff from TFS at the Table, Roll with Me, and the Unexpectables. I've seen there's the other one that I've seen more specifically is they've done one of Digsby from the Unexpectables, and it looks fantastic as
They
well.
did one with Task and Taurus get it too, and it's fucking rad as shit.
Nice, but I fucking
Nice.
love this, like the eye, and then like Dagon with the Wraith of Ibrakal. I miss him. He's fucking dead as shit, and he was a piece of shit. But he deserved to die.
He deserved
But
every bit of it.
He
but
deserved every bit of his death. But I miss playing him because I enjoyed playing that type of character.
All right. Well, thank you
Awesome
so
stuff.
much. Next up. Okay, so Mostly,
yeah, here we go. I've been
here
missing this
We
art.
have a lot of MFS arts to go through.
Yes, I love hearing that. That is my favorite sentence tonight.
So here we go. Let me play you a tune. The Gemworld of Sound stopped working for Eloy as his master's magic music, but now lives on in bliss.
Hell yeah.
I love her design.
That is a
looks
very
so
nice
cool.
design of bliss. I like that.
That's awesome.
Okay, so I know you.
I love the hair tips.
Truly,
Like, those are
truly
great.
outrageous.
I know that me and you have been talking about this a lot, but there's a game. I don't know if the embargo has been lifted yet, but I have the starter PDF for it. There's a tabletop game called Lasers and Liches, which is fucking 80s and
been talking about
90s.
that a
The
lot.
game. When that embargo lifts, I want to fucking play the shit out of that on here.
All right.
No, we can definitely
This
do it.
fucking fits that to a T.
It does. Like,
That vaporwave, just
I get a
That
very
is-
Jim in the hologram, or that's right. That was it, right?
Jim in
Jim
the holograms.
Jim in the holograms.
Yeah,
Get-
you're right.
Get very much that vibe from like just this kind of color
just
palette.
needs like the face paint.
Yeah.
yeah, this is fantastic. I love it. But you
Next.
said there's more.
There's more. Oh, there is more. Next one.
But wait.
yeah, yeah.
I love him. It's my best friend.
I love that he has a wooden arm cannon.
Yeah, because I can't do metal
It's
stuff.
the Chroma Buster.
So let me go ahead and read this off.
Okay.
Are you hungry or dead? Such conundrums of life plague Crow McGill, the newest member of the Natural Wonders. He dislikes metallic things on his gear, so he is made of organic material. So he had Mr. Schlorg make him this wooden arm cannon.
And I will say this, I think this is the first time I've seen art of Chroma Gill where it actually looks like his gills are
Like
luminescent,
lit
and
up,
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, no, that looks super cool.
There's a lot you can get away with when you make the outlines of something a different color more than
Yeah.
just black.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually like changing the palette entirely. Like the in order to go to those lights, I think they're using like pastels in order to make them look more luminescent.
Probably.
I think it's for a digital piece, it looks more like an overlay.
Very
It's
possible.
it's an overlay of the outline.
But
Yeah.
it looks amazing. I love it.
And next up,
Hey!
Phoenix Squad reporting in, all one of them, sigh. Waking up on the Emerald Canal, barely alive, a strange gem in his chest, Morgan Strong joins the Wonders to resume his mission to avenge his fallen squad.
Holding them together there with the mighty Gemerald of power.
I love like the light shooting off the gemeralds, like making that tricolor thing around them.
Oh, that
It's
weird,
real
like,
cool.
fucking circle
That-
like, at the start of, like, Trigun or
that
something.
lens flare gleam.
Yeah.
Very Voltron or very. It reminds me of the effects they used to do in Big O.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
And we have one more.
Oh, no.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Dinosaur Mom.
That's in quotes. As Red left the Wonders to return to the Volition HQ, the team hired a replacement for the new library. With immense Sauron strength and the Book of Exposition, Valtara silences her enemies.
Book of Exposition. I fucking love it.
She is the Zordon of this group.
You're in a library. Silence Wake.
I would bury you with knowledge.
Thank you so much, MFS Arts. I absolutely love it, and I've missed seeing your art. I am happy we had a big, like, batch of it right here.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they dropped it and all in like one relative
Yeah.
batch, wasn't it?
Yep.
Like just all at once.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much.
All right, next up.
I love it.
From,
I love your music.
From Delta Knight 44, a redo of my previous piece of fan art. In my defense, I had no idea that Bliss was purple instead of red, nor did I know she was a bit more energetic than I originally thought. Dude, it's super fine. That's the thing about these games. You gotta, like, spend the time to get to know these characters.
I'm a rock on the end of the tail. I love it.
Yeah, that is adorable. What is this music?
I love Chromagill's just like wide eyes, like he looks so enthralled by what's happening in front of him. He's
It's
just
like
like,
heartless.
just need to
almost
stare at
hypnotic.
this.
Yeah, if you didn't know what he was, you'd fear for her.
Yeah. He's got his hands to himself. He's not reaching. He's just
It's like,
Fair.
yeah, I like it. Thank
Alrighty.
you.
Well, thank you so much. Next up.
ooh.
Yep, from Oh No, It's Slime, a color sketch commission of Red and Ziaka on a summer date.
Aww.
Such
She's hiding her other two heads because she's embarrassed.
Well, they actually got up to this when the commission was made. She didn't have the three
okay.
heads.
Has not happened yet.
Has not occurred in this timeline.
That's really cute. I love like it's almost like a sort of watercolor style.
Dude, it's plausible, and the artist asked, so I'm just like, yeah, dude, it fucking completely works.
Snake.
It's a very nice, tasteful composition.
Uh-huh.
Like it's got the right sway and motion when you try to like draw dancing in a still frame.
Boom.
So yeah.
Alrighty, and we got one more to go from Venomous Vinny.
Hey, that's my boy.
Oh, that picture kind of got away from us.
Got shifted over a little bit. I think you might have accidentally clicked it when you're trying to move some other stuff earlier.
There we go.
There we
is.
go. Here is a drawing of Wake.
Got his bandolier of shark tooth knives.
Like, with the longer hair, this feels like post-time skip Wake. Like this
Super
is
Saiyan 3 Wake.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
this is definitely post time skip Wake.
After he lived in the wilderness for a while, he returned.
Wild Man
I
Wake.
can't help but just see. Sorry for bringing up Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, because it's the
the red hair.
It's the bright red hair. It even has like the right amount of locks.
Yeah.
Over the
Because
shoulders
it's
a little bit.
draping over his shoulders, his collarbone. So I'm like, yeah, I'm really digging this.
I like it a lot. Thank you kindly, Venomous Vinny. Absolutely great Wake there.
And that's it. And this is the end of chapter 5, I believe, gentlemen.
All right. Well, been a hell of a chapter, and we'll pick up at the ship graveyard next time at the table. See you later, Wonders.